Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the MCU crew. Jesse, how was that intro on the excitement? Okay, fucking Christ.
I tried to hold it in. I couldn't hold it in, and I couldn't hold it in. I tried to hold it in.
Jesus, Jesse. You had 6.5 minutes to sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. As you said, welcome to the show. I was like, oh no. Allergies, man. They'll get you. They'll get you.
They will. They will. How's it going, Jesse?
Great.
Except for sneezes. Are you sick? You're not sick, are you? Those are just allergies?
No, I just am allergic to pollen, and this time of year is always a giant pain in my ass. And I woke up today and realized I don't have any more Benadryl. So off to the store I go after this to go not be a mess.
There you go.
So expect me to be sneezing and or watery-eyed the entire time.
Okay. Jesse, do me a favor, tap your mic.
Hello.
Okay, no, it's the right mic. We got some echo.
It's the right mic. I'm just at home in my echoey apartment.
Yeah.
It is not built.
I got you.
For broadcasting.
I'm so Marvel-brained. I thought you had a Panther like blanket behind you, but it says partner, not Panther.
I have one for... People keep sending me shit. I have one for Twitch, one for YouTube, and one for Aloy from Horizon, Forbidden West.
Oh, fancy.
So you just have a bunch of blankets?
People keep sending me blankets, and I don't know what to do with them. And I realized that my couch is the sleep couch. Anytime anyone comes over and they get on that couch, instantly fall asleep. It is like magic. So I just keep blankets there because I'm like, I very kindly wrap them in it. And I'm like, all right. And then I'll just go do something while they're passed out. Happens all the time. Friends, family, does not matter. Me, sometimes I'll come home, sit on that couch, turn on TV, be out in like 5 minutes. That's the sleep couch. That couch is dangerous.
It sounds wild. Yeah, I'm worried for the couch.
You should be. That couch is. I've had that thing for 10 years. That couch has been around. It knows what's up.
Okay, all right. That's enough about the couch. Let's not.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're on a list now because that couch done some.
It's not like
scandalous things.
Couch.
It sounds like
it's a comforting, sleepy couch. It's great. You like it's soothing. Like it wraps you in its arms and it's like it'll be okay. Don't worry about the outside. That place sucks. Come on, let's go to bed, baby. I'm like, oh, thanks, couch. And I'm like,
it talks to you seductively.
Not seductively, comforting. If you thought that was seductive, call me.
Wait, why would we're on? I don't need to call you, Jesse. We're here.
Call me, JP. Call me.
Is that the couch talking through you? Is that what's happening?
You won't know till you call me.
Oh Christ, Jesus. Bronze, how's it going for you? What are you doing? How's it been?
Yo,
living?
I'm vibing. Yeah, I'm living. I'm vibing.
Wait, you
know what
I
woke
vibe
up
is?
today.
I don't know if you do.
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, it's a random emote on Twitch. Sorry, you woke up today and what?
Cyborg Slaves of Satan was trending on Twitter, and I was like, "Yo,
really?
What's one of those days?
What's going on with the Cyborg Slaves of Satan?"
I mean, it's the Alex Jones thing, but I'm like,
yeah,
nice.
Let's hear about it. What's happening? Let the people know.
Alex Jones has a new theory that people are being programmed to become the cyborg slaves of Satan.
Sick. Sign me up. Let's go.
This was trending on my Twitter, and I was like, "Yo, are we okay as humanity? Like, just as people, like, are we all right? Like, what the fuck is going on right now?"
I guess.
Whoa. Yeah. The full quote is awesome.
Give me the full quote, Jesse.
The full quote is like, it's the end of the movie Independence Day, where the president gives that rousing speech.
Yes.
Bill Pullman, I think is the actor. It's incredible.
It is like that, but he says, "I declare." That's my Alex Jones voice. I declare.
That's pretty good.
A declaration of independence against the alien force that is attempting to exterminate the majority of us and force the minority to merge with AI computers and become cyborg slaves of Satan.
Good Lord. Good Lord.
He's being sued and he's going to go bankrupt.
That's wild. What a wild situation. Well, I hope everything works out for him. Or maybe it doesn't, you know.
I think, isn't that the plot of the new Doom game as well?
I believe so.
Isn't that?
Yeah, Bethesda's going to send him a cease and desist there.
Cyborg Slaves of Satan. I believe that's part of it, yeah.
You got to watch out. You got to watch out. Bronze, I've been lurking in your Monster Hunter streams this past couple of nights.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I joined in there and I think maybe, but what if I just tried to snipe? What if I just tried to join up here and see, but I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it. I'm a little bit further in the game, so.
I was going to say, I was like, I haven't been playing as much as I want to, so today is going to be my day to grind. Because like, what else am I going to do? Go outside and
celebrate America?
Light fireworks? No.
Yeah. I think I'm like MR 32. Which I don't.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So there's like low, high, medium, or master rank above that. But yeah.
Low, high, medium.
Low, high, medium. They're weird there in Japan. It's an interesting hierarchy. But I have been going back and doing like older hunts for things that I didn't unlock, like different meals and stuff. And that's been like really satisfying to just load into, you know, like a high rank Anjanath and like 5-shot it. Like just 5 attacks.
Yeah.
Everyone else looks like a scrub, and I'm walking in there with like my alien ass looking gear that's all glowy and shit. Just like 5-shot the bomb. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. Feels good. I like it. It's good times. Where should we begin? I had a question that I always have this question. Oh yeah, Jesse Cox. The final thing before we talk news. Did you know that whenever I go to @you on any of our shows that we do, and I type JESS enter to like autofill, Jessica Alba steals your shit.
Here's the thing: a better person to tweet. Not gonna lie.
Steals your shit. She takes you out.
Much better, much more receptive of tweets. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Frankly, a better person. It's all right.
Yeah.
No problems here.
She takes you out. Also, last night on my Monster Hunter adventures, while I was grinding on this one boss for like an hour, which was a fucking nightmare, someone joined the party named Chill Illuminati. And I was like, who is this? What is this? Someone, do I know this person? Is this a friend of a friend? Is this just a fan? I don't know.
It wasn't me. Could have been a fan. That show is fire. Yeah. Internet fire.
They died right afterwards and
that sounds right. That sounds right.
The monster. So I didn't get a chance to message them at all. But
yeah, that sounds right. That sounds correct.
Yeah, they died really quick.
Could have been anyone. Could have been the government for all you know.
It's true. It could have been the government. You got to watch out for them. Hey, Jesse Bronze, I haven't asked you this before. You guys get your Thor tickets yet? Are you guys ready for Thor's Day?
You did ask us multiple times.
No, I don't think I have. Not at all.
You did.
I don't think you did.
I'm just going to show up to the movie theater on Friday.
Same. I'm going to walk in.
Get a ticket. Yeah.
Just get a ticket. Yeah.
How, where's the hype? Where are we at hype level? Like, is it Thor week in y'all's mind, or is it just let's go see a movie week? I think that says it all. I think the silence answers the question. It's not Thor week.
Yeah. It's weird. It's like I'm excited for Thor, but
yes,
I don't know.
I'm in the same boat. I'm like hyped for it.
Much?
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I think there was just there's a lot revealed beforehand, and I also think there's a strange disbelief that it's the first week of July. So I'm just like, already?
That is true. It is a little shocking that we're that far.
Mixture of both of those things.
Yeah. Jesse, where's your hype level at?
I'm in the exact same place. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it. I think it's going to be a good ass time. I'm actually think it's going to be a great movie, but like, I don't know, man. I am my like. Here's a great example. I really, really, really want to see the last 2 episodes of Stranger Things. Haven't watched them yet.
I haven't watched them yet because my wife's traveling. So, married life, you can't
I
watch
haven't
it.
seen them yet.
So
Going on the internet is the hardest thing I've ever had to do because y'all be spoiling or at least
What
trying
is
to.
that? I tweeted about this. Why is it that part 1 nobody spoiled it and part 2 was spoiled within 24 hours? What is
I've not
that?
been spoiled yet. I had like a spoiler by accident where someone was talking about fan reactions to the show. And so now I have believed, because my stupid brain was like, oh, that means this happens. So now I've convinced myself that the thing occurs. So I think that's a spoiler, but I haven't watched it yet, so I can't really say.
Yeah, I don't know particularly what happens, but I do know that someone posted, like, it was one of those like YouTube video things, was like 50,000 things you missed in the episode. And the picture that was posted with it was a bunch of cast members standing on a hill, and I was like, okay, half of the cast is missing. I was like, I don't know what that means. I have no idea what this is about, but already I feel like I'm spoiled, and and ever since then I've been like, I'm not looking, I'm not touching anything. I don't want to know what that means. I don't know if that means that like half the cast is dead. Like, that, I would be very upset if that was the case. So I'm just like, just gonna not do a damn thing.
Yeah.
This is their final season, right?
No, they still have one more.
It's the penultimate season.
Yeah, still got one more.
Penultimate season.
Yeah. So, I haven't watched Stranger Things yet. Probably watch it this weekend after I see Thor.
I'm convinced, if anything, it's going to be very Empire Strikes Back-y. You know what I mean? Like, if they're going to do one more season, this is the season where it's like, shit goes to shit. So,
I think the creators even said that it was very Empire Strikes Back, Ian.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm excited for that. I just also know that means that, like, Luke be losing a hand, dog. So
yeah,
I'm like, all right.
That's correct. Well, we'll discuss next week's going to be a big episode. We'll have Thor. We'll have Thor talk, and we'll have what is that? Is it episode 5 of Miss Marvel next week? Which
yes,
the co-creator got out there about Miss Marvel. This was 2 days ago, and said that they are the most nervous about reaction to the next episode, and say, quote, if said, we took some risk. So I guess that, we'll discuss where the last episode ended a little bit later in the show, but I guess they're going to tell a little bit of that story. I guess maybe that's the risk. I don't know. I suppose we'll have to see. Could be an interesting discussion next week regarding both of those. Trying to see if she said anything else regarding that, but we'll probably save that for Miss Marvel talk. What else is out there in the world of news? The Russo brothers are out there saying they're open to a Marvel return, and have said that the X-Men would be a fun new adventure. I don't know if I want them. I don't know if I want them doing the X-Men.
That is a ballsy PR move.
You
like,
think?
We'd return to, but if they gave us the X-Men, like, all right, boys.
I think it was Joe Russo was at the Thor premiere, just hanging out. He was on the red carpet. So I don't know if like that deal's already done and they're going to be doing some more Marvel stuff, but I don't know how they. I guess they could maybe do the X-Men. I don't know. They're good at like handling multiple storylines or multiple characters, so every character gets like its say in the show. It wouldn't be the worst thing.
They're not. I mean, yeah, they're not bad at what they do. I just think it's like a ballsy move for them to be like, "You want us back? Give us the biggest franchise you have."
I mean, they did Infinity War, right? Like they already. I feel like they have those balls to throw around.
But like that's in the past, my man.
I guess
this is Hollywood, baby. That's years ago. It's
still the highest earning movie of all time, though, isn't it? Or did Avatar crush that?
No, Avatar re-released just to shit on it. Yeah,
that's
because James Cameron is that guy.
Yeah. One asshole.
That's okay. I don't know a
Well,
single
still, it's
person
the
who's like
second
Avatar
highest
2.
earning
I'm gonna
movie
be
of all
there.
time. Like, I think they have the weight to throw that
Yeah,
around.
Avatar is so strange to me because I didn't think it was culturally
I thought it sucked. I hate that movie.
yeah,
It
like
is
like
literally Dances with Smurfs, is what it is.
right,
It's a
but
stupid
there
movie.
are people, and this is really weird, that like speak the Avatar language. And it's some of them is like Gen Z, and it's like they
Fucking
are
wild.
so into that movie, and I'm just like, of all the movies to idolize, this is the one.
I don't get
Like
it.
it's just so weird to me.
When it came out, you remember those people that were like, "It's a world that I want to live in. It's better than our world."
Yes. Yes.
Like that's
I remember that.
crazy to me.
It's still wild.
The
Yeah.
only thing I can liken it to is I remember when I was like very, very young, some of my older teenage cousins were this way with Titanic. Do you guys remember the obsession
I remember
behind
Titanic when it
Titanic?
blew up. Yeah. Yeah, I do
Yeah,
remember
like
that.
my older cousins were obsessed
It
with
was a big deal.
Titanic.
It really was.
Yeah. And I didn't really get it because I was like, how old was I? I was like 7, I think.
Yeah.
So I was just like, why is the I don't get it. It's just a stupid movie with a boat. But one of my cousins had like the Titanic nighty and everything.
What
And
what is the 90?
a
Does it come like
90.
drenched in ice cold water? Like what how
No,
does
but
that
it
work?
has both of their faces on it. So it wasn't
It
even
has
like a
Leo's and
Leonardo.
Kate's what?
Yes. Like faces facing each other with the boat at the bottom, and it would say Titanic. And I remember being like, well, clearly this is not a crush on Leonardo. Otherwise, Kate's face wouldn't be on there.
What
And
the fuck?
I feel like so much of it was because it was like the most expensive movie made at the time. So like people were just like,
Yeah, I mean
like that.
it's wild to think about how well that movie did, as well as like Avatar, because those were like kind of pre-social media, right? Like they didn't have the buzz was I guess the
Mhm.
internet was out, like the internet
No,
existed.
it wasn't an internet thing. It was word of mouth. It
But
was
it was
people
word of
telling
mouth.
people
But
about
yeah,
it.
it didn't
Like
have that much, is what I was saying.
the problem is the movie, like, if you like the ship sinking, that's cool. If you like the love story, that's cool. But I still to this day can't get over the last 5 minutes. That woman led a full ass life, had kids, remarried, and at the end, she's like, I can't wait to go to heaven to see that guy I had a fling with that one time on a boat. That's how that movie ends. That shit's crazy. If you think about that, she forsook her entire family to like ghost hook up with a dude she met once. That's crazy. I can't stop thinking about that. I'm like,
it was around the traumatic events. Maybe that's why I left.
I was like, that woman is
lasting
petty as
impression.
shit. She had grandkids. She was like, bye, haters. Like, what? The movie's insane if you think about it. The end of that movie is crazy.
No, now that you mention it, that is wild.
I can't stop thinking
Rediscovering
about
how
it.
insane Titanic was here on the MCU.
I have
Meanwhile-
those same feelings about Avatar too, where it's like, oh, these people have been studying, these indigenous populations for a very long time, and then there's a guy that's like, well, I'm just gonna eschew every rule you've created because I know best, and everyone's like, he is now our leader, and I'm like, what the fuck? Isn't
Dances
that
with
movie?
Smurfs. Yeah, it is it's very interesting. Like there's a lot. Here's the thing about Avatar. Like a lot of movies that are of the same vein, it has a lot that works well with it. Because I think no matter what, the whole like dude who is exposed to another culture story, while always done in like a really weird way, is interesting. But yeah, it's also a sci-fi action film. And so a lot of insane liberties are taken with what should be character growth is actually just like a dude showing up, having hair sex with a lady, and then being like, I am the leader now. He's like, I am Jake Sully, and I am your leader.
I forgot that name. You're right. Old Jake
Oh,
Sully.
I can't forget it because the one woman always goes, I see you, Jake Sully. Yeah.
You know
Oh, the ICU. I forgot the ICU.
that's pivotal
Yeah.
part of the movie.
But
It's even
straight up is like, it's just Dances with Wolves. It is literally that film.
Have y'all
Except not.
been to the Animal Kingdom in Florida? Y'all been there
No.
before?
I haven't been to Florida in 25 years.
I mean, you're not missing much, but the Animal Kingdom in Florida has a massive Avatar presence. Like it is a major part of that. They have like the giant rocks from Pandora that float in the middle of the air. It's actually kind of wild.
I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
However,
It's
let's not
fucking cool.
pretend. Let's not pretend that when that game, or sorry, and I say game, but when that movie came out, don't tell me everyone playing World of Warcraft immediately didn't think of Nagrand.
Sure.
It was Nagrand.
It really was.
Nagrand was out at the time when that movie came out, and I went there and was like, oh, this is Nagrand. Yeah, it's one of those things where it felt like a lot of it was taken from other stuff, and then a lot of it was also kind of like, I don't know, man. Avatar is one of those movies that has a lot going for it, but I think the whole package is like, it's not done in a way that impresses me, but whatever. I guess it wasn't meant for me.
Sure, that makes sense.
No, that shit crazy.
Here are those floating rocks. The Animal Kingdom.
I think that's cool as shit. I actually think that's really neat.
It's wild. This entire part of the park is all Avatar themed. They have a massive. I waited 3.5 hours for that ride. That's how big that.
What's the Avatar ride?
You know the other ride where you are in the like hang glider and you're soaring. Is it soaring over California or whatever the fuck?
Yes,
it's
yes,
Avatar.
Does Michael Warburton introduce it?
I think so. I actually think so. Yeah, I think he like gives you the
Avatar ride. Michael Warburton introduces the Avatar ride.
You're talking about the like commander in chief guy, right? Who's
no,
that?
I'm talking about the dude who's just like, I'm talking about the poison for Cusco guy.
Oh, I don't. Maybe not.
No.
Maybe I'm having a hard time remembering.
Are you talking about Patrick Warburton?
Patrick Warburton. Who did I call him? Michael Warburton? Great.
Yeah. I was
Michael
like,
Warburton is Patrick Warburton's brother.
Oh.
And he introduces
the
Avatar ride. My bad.
What's
my mistake?
Oh no.
What's crazy to me?
Go ahead.
Like what my overlap in like disbelief, and this happened to me in both watching Avatar and in watching Disney's Pocahontas, is when you see this like really buff, really cool native guy, and then both those characters are like, here's an ugly foreigner. Let me fall in love with them instead. And even as a child, when I saw Pocahontas, I was like, but who would choose John Smith?
He's so, don't you get it? He's different. And he's in love with nature. Don't you get it? Bronze, look, let me explain something to you. All right, look, you don't understand. Let me explain something to you.
Nobody would choose John Smith.
Bronze, you need to be quiet for a minute. This is important to me as a white man.
Is this the couch talking?
There is a fantasy that if I go to a foreign country, because I'm so different, they're going to fall in love with me. And how dare you ruin this for me? I've been told this in movies. I've been told this my entire life, and I swear to God,
I won't even deny. I won't even deny that is the thing, but not John Smith.
Don't you ruin this for me? For once, I get to be the exotic
John
foreigner.
Smith.
But if Pocahontas can love John Smith, she can love me, Bronze.
No,
don't you see?
Because John Smith sucks. He's so
now I'm
gross.
the forbidden fruit. I'm so different. What's she going to say to her parents? She going to bring me around? She's going to have to hide me. It's an illicit love affair. Don't you see, Bronze? You can't ruin this for me. It's all I have.
We good? We all right?
End scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm making goofs. I'm making goofs over here, JP.
I've heard that in Australia, they like people with American accents, Jesse. And
having been there, I know this is true.
See? But it's also because you're not John Smith. That man looks like a thumb. A thumb and a helmet.
It's attractive to some people, you know. Big thumb energy.
No.
People like their people
no
like
one.
look. What do you got against thumbs? Bronze. Look.
And then you have this hot dude with like a bear paw tattoo on his chest, and I'm like, who chooses John Smith?
That hot dude with the tattoo, that guy only cared about war.
It's true. He was very war driven.
He didn't care about that tree lady.
They
John
were
Smith
colonizers.
Whoa,
I would
calm
care
down.
about war
Calm
too.
down. They were mining for gold.
Don't stereotype
destroying
John
the land
Smith,
as well.
Bronze. Jeez, that's I can't
They
believe
were also
you would
destroying
do
the
that.
environment.
It's crazy. God. Can't believe you would do such a thing.
John Smith was one of the good ones. He only got it on with like a 12-year-old. It's fine.
No.
Oh, no.
Fuck John Smith. What a piece of shit, dude.
Yeah, and then stole her away
We're
to
talking
England.
about real life. We're talking about real life John Smith. That's even worse.
Even worse. Even worse of a person. Took her ass back to England. Pulled her out of her home. Like boated her ass back to England. Showed her off. Get out of town. Then she didn't even get with John Smith. In the end, she married some other dude. Ridiculous.
Would you? She's basically
Yes,
kidnapped.
obviously. Yeah.
I would leave him the first chance I got too.
True.
But
Okay.
Avatar had those vibes where it's like, oh, look at this random fucking outsider. Let me have hair sex with him. And I was like, what's that girl's name? I don't
The
remember. But I was like,
actress?
girl, what's no, the character's name.
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, that was Gamora.
No, what character does she play?
Oh.
Like Naidi?
That sounds close to it, yeah.
Natiri?
Natiri, yeah.
Natiri, yeah.
I was like, why are you having hair sex with this guy?
Can't
What
just be
about
having
him?
hair sex with anyone, you know? You
Maybe
You're bonded
honest
for life
question,
to him? You've known him for like 2 days.
maybe sex
they're
isn't
like-
that big a deal for them.
Because no, it is. Isn't that literally the whole point that Sigourney Weaver makes, where she's like, dude, you can't just bang. Like when you have hair sex, you're together
yeah,
forever. And I was like,
I've
wait,
seen that
she knew that?
infomercial from Sigourney.
And she fucked him even though she's known
Point
him
of
for like
order.
2 days?
Point of
That was
order.
crazy.
Does she view him as a real person? Because I thought, honest to God,
Wait,
is
Sigourney?
he a robot? Isn't he a robot? Did she just have robot sex? Honest question.
He is in a robot body. Yeah. Well, he
And I
is
will
in
say-
a not his body.
I thought, and this is honest to God the truth, I thought the storyline about a man who couldn't walk being able to walk again would be a more prominent storyline in that movie. But the minute he could walk again, it was like, F it. That's not a thing anyone cares about anymore. Like, I was like, wouldn't that figure into his calculation about like one? I don't know, man. It truly, that movie is all over the place, but whatever. She banged a robot. That's what happened.
A
He
clone.
hooked up with a robot, and I understand why everyone in the tribe was a little freaked out by that. Also, I'd be a little worried if the robot man talked to Tree Mom and then managed to fly the giant bird. I'd be like, have robots taken over our society?
Sister, are you saying this is the origin story of Alex Jones?
All I'm saying is that in order to defeat the industrial complex, the thing that stopped Giovanni Ribisi and the big buff dude was one of their own as a robot. That would be like if in Dances with Wolves, Kevin Costner put on like a native robot suit and defeated the like soldiers and was like, I've saved you. I am one of you. Like, that shit's crazy. That shit's crazy. The more you think about it, the more. All I'm saying is James Cameron, crazy person.
Oh, absolutely.
Yo,
Yeah.
somebody in my chat pointed something out to me that I never thought about.
Okay.
Ron, they have hair sex with animals to get to their day jobs. That's true. Don't they take their braid and then
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
That's how they.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
how
that's
it's done.
also how
Yeah.
they
A lot of bestiality going on there.
Oh, that's crazy.
Look, they're alien
Now,
races.
question.
Okay, it's a different
Do you
world.
think sex in Avatar is like sex in the movie Demolition Man, where it's brainwaves?
Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of brainwaves, you know what I
Probably.
hate? I hate that my mind was going there. I hate that we were on the same wavelength,
What
thinking of the same
of
thing.
Demolition Man?
Yes, Demolition Man,
Look,
Delicious
where
Man.
she puts
It's a
on the
classic.
helmet
Yeah.
it gets brought up a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's the
and she's
third or
so
fourth time.
disgusted, where she's like, "Ew, you wanted to exchange fluids? Ah!"
I love that. I unabashedly love that movie. It is
That
Me
movie's
too.
wild.
ridiculous. So
Yeah.
good.
Movie's wild. It's been a hot minute since I've seen it, but it's wild.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Anyways, in the world of Marvel, with you guys, it's impossible to have segues. I just got to say shit like that.
Mhm.
We got season 2 Loki photos. I'm not going to show them for spoiler purposes, but that's out there and about there. They're filming that thing. You got a bunch of, I guess, returning characters is what we'll say there. Looks like it's going to be a timey-wimey scene, so I don't know if this is a flashback or a different universe or what, but there's definitely like some old-ass cars behind them.
I can tell you right now that looking at the scenes, it definitely takes place in London because in the background of one of the set photos is a Pizza Express, and I fucking love Pizza Express. And every time I'm in London, I go to Pizza Express. So I'm just saying,
is that what you're saying? That white sign, the like illuminated sign?
That white sign in the background says it's a Pizza Express sign.
Oh,
I love Pizza Express.
Okay.
I get the Diavola pizza every time I'm there.
Well, there you go.
Anyway,
there you go.
Shout
Takes
out.
place in
Hey,
London.
Pizza Express, I'll take a sponsorship. Call me.
Got a London season 2 Loki filming. I didn't know there was a bunch of things that popped up. The 2 big news stories that popped up this week were things that I didn't even know were happening in the Marvel world, in the MCU world. The first one is they're making an animated, or they have been, it's been announced a long time ago, that they're making an animated Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur show. Did you guys know about this?
What?
I didn't know they were making an animated show, but I know about the comic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's who's doing the production here? It's Cinema Gypsy Productions and Disney Television Animation are who are doing that. And I had no idea that was coming. What's the origin story behind Moon Girl? Because I only know them as recently nerfed Marvel Snap cards. They were the most incredibly broken and meta cards within the whole game.
Yeah.
And they got nerfed to shit.
I read the first issue and it was not for me. So I honestly couldn't tell you much about it.
Okay.
But I will say this. I think the comic just sucked because it came out at a very interesting time, aka it probably didn't suck. But imagine releasing a comic after Miles Morales Spider-Man, after G. Willow Wilson's Miss Marvel, and then you're getting Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It was a step, I think. Even Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, had dropped at that point.
Huh.
So we had like these, and then yeah. So I feel like I didn't like it. I thought it was stupid, but it does make sense as a kid's cartoon.
Weird. Yeah, my chat's saying she's now the smartest person canonically in the Marvel world.
I'm looking
I
at
never believed that because they change it literally every other day.
Well, that's just like the whole power level rating bullshit, right?
Yeah,
So
last week they said it was Shuri. This week it's never been the
yeah.
same character for more than
it doesn't much matter, but it just gives you a level of her intelligence, I guess. Jesse,
I don't know I don't know a damn thing about this character, but I do know that this comic book cover is very, very good. I enjoy it tremendously. I just linked it to you, JP. I absolutely love the design of this cover. I think it's very cute. And I'll give it that. I don't know a damn thing about this, but as you were saying, she's the smartest character.
Yeah.
This is what popped up, and I was like, that's a perfect example of being the smartest character.
Yeah.
I think that's very cute.
Yeah.
Where you can just see like all the different things of all the different other smart people, and she's using them to make something even smarter.
Yeah.
And it's a light bulb. Hilarious. Love it. Very cute.
The tagline here at the end of this, it says Marvel's Moon Girl follows the adventures, Marvel's Moon Girl and the Devil Dinosaur. No, and Devil Dinosaur. It's not the. Follows the adventures of a 13-year-old super genius, Lunella Lafayette and her 10-ton T-Rex Devil Dinosaur after Lunella accidentally brings Devil Dinosaur into present-day New York City via a time vortex. The duo works together to protect the city's Lower East Side from danger. Sounds wild.
So, question. New York.
Yeah.
Is there crime anymore in the Marvel Universe in New York? The rest of the country is a mess, but New York is like safe.
Yeah.
New York is very safe.
Lot of superhero presence in New York, that's for sure. Massive amounts. Yeah.
Spokane, shit show. A mess.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee
has so many villains.
Would you rather protect New York or Spokane or
St. Louis? St. Louis has got super
we got
villains
the
everywhere.
the arch is someone probably hangs out in the arch, right? There's someone there. Archman.
The arch villain hangs out there.
So you're saying St. Louis is a villain city? Villain headquarters?
100%.
Okay. That's fine. This still protect us from like alien threats and shit.
I don't think so. He is the alien
I think
threat.
they would. I think they would. Yeah.
He is the alien threat. I wonder if they're gonna touch on her being an Inhuman.
Oh, is Lunella Lafayette an Inhuman? That's her?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because she can like switch. She can like enter the dinosaur's body. Or I think sorry, it's a long time ago. That comic came out in like 2012. She can like switch. She can like go. She could like take control of his body and.
Let's see. I'm looking it up. Yep. With latent inhuman lineage activated by Terrigen Bomb. So there you go.
Yeah. I don't know if she can take control of other people though. I think it's just Devil Dinosaur.
I don't know. We'll find out when the show comes out, I guess. I didn't realize that was the thing that was happening. Kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I also wonder, is that going to be the first animated show because like that has to be a part of the MCU, right? You would guess.
I don't know. I think it could just be an animated show that exists. Like looking at it and seeing everything there is to do with this show, it seems like honestly like a perfect kid show.
I guess what if? You're right. Sorry.
Literally has a dinosaur in it, man. If I was a kid, I'd be hype as hell. Like, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, great. It's 1 p.m. on July the 4th, and my dumb fucking neighbors decided, let's shoot some fireworks off because we're going to stare them. We're going to stare at that sun, look for the fireworks in the sky. I hope you go fucking blind, you fucking idiots. Sorry. They've been terrorizing my dog for the past week, and now I got to deal with it. Live on air once again. The other big news for this week was we got some art reveals from, I think, toys, because toys spoil everything in the MCU, for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And they have confirmed that Namor will be in that film.
If that's accurate, if that's an accurate, like a real image, I love that dude's look. I love the like gauntlet vibes and stuff. I'm here for it. I think that's really neat. I would love to know how they spin off the way his outfit looks with Atlantis and the backstory of that. Because it has like a very South American vibe to it.
Yes, like Central America vibe. It looks
Central America, Southern, It
looks really cool.
I love it. Mm-hmm.
Big fan of that. They also have an image of the villain, who will be Atuma, I think is his name, and he looks also pretty badass. I'll pull up that.
Who the hell is that?
He looks fantastic. It looks like this.
Whoa, is that a shark man?
I think it's a shark. He's got like some shark bone. He's got a what is that? What I'm blanking on the type of shark that is. Is his skull helmet?
Hammerhead
shark.
Hammerhead shark. Dude, that guy looks cool as shit.
He does, yeah. I don't know much about Namor and like that. They're getting into the part of Marvel lore where it's all like deep cuts. We're away from the like 90s Marvel, and this is like the early 2000s for me, I guess, for my interest, when it comes to all these aspects of the lore of Marvel. So
I think the cool thing about that though is they can take bigger swings and change stuff more because they don't like, not to be rude, like I love Namor, but like how many hardcore Namor fans are there out there that are
Very
gonna
few.
be like, "No!" You know, whereas like they're
don't worry,
so
they're coming to
boxed,
Twitter. They're making accounts
right?
now.
Versus like they're so boxed in with like if they were to do Wolverine,
Sure.
right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
if they re-envision Wolverine at all, there's a lot of people who would be upset because myself included, because you know you're more invested in that character. And like I like Namor, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. What I know of Namor is like from crossovers with like other books. You know? Like,
Yeah.
I actually like Aquaman a lot more. I read the DC Aquaman comics, but, like, I've never read a Namor standalone.
Well, I mean, that's the issue. Like, the issue is that Namor exists because of Aquaman, right? Like, that's always been my
Yes.
headcanon of why he exists. So I never really, I was like, oh, it's Aquaman, whatever, right?
People
Like,
dumpster people shit on Aquaman because of that one cartoon from God knows when,
oh, yeah.
but, like, Aquaman as a character is actually very fucking cool, and it, like, always annoys me because people are like, "Oh, what does he do? He talks to fish," and I'm like, "No, he controls them." That's like saying Professor X talks to people. No, he can control them too. Like that's part of the so dumb. That being said, my biggest joy from The Boys is is
Oh, I
their
know where this is going.
Aquaman spoof
Yeah.
with that fucking dude. That name, like I cannot get over the names. Like the Deep.
The Deep
That's come on. That's so funny.
is good.
That's so funny.
Is good.
There's a character named Black Noir. That's Black Black.
Yeah.
His name is Black Black.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Also, Chad is screaming at me. Namor is apparently first. Yeah, well, his marketing sucks because Aquaman was first. All right.
Oh man, I'm having like the best time trying to figure out. So like based off of Namor's design, he has more of a Mayan look, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out if Atuma is more Aztec or Incan. But
Well,
it's very hard.
I think Atuma is blue because he's full Atlantean.
Well, I mean, like not, not the blue, the design style. I think
Oh,
it's
sure.
very interesting the way they went. Like, it is very, very obvious that Namor has like a Mayan vibe because of all the jade earrings and stuff. But yeah, I love the necklace piece has kind of like an Aztec thing or an Inca. I don't know. I can't figure it out, but I love it. I love the design. I think
like it
the
a
art
lot
style.
too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's so
think
cool.
it looks great. The actor, by the way, playing Namor is Mexican actor Tenoch Huerta, who he was in Narcos Mexico, as well as the Forever Purge. And I think there was also a big film, Tigers Are Not Afraid, was kind of his big breakout film, which is from 2017. And I think that's actually a scary flick. That I've only heard of. I've never seen it. But yeah, that's who's going to be playing him. I'll pull up an image of him. Everyone can see old, interesting name for sure. Tenoch Huerta. Let's go with this one.
Yeah, I think that's I love a good name. Tenoch is
That's
a
that's
badass
such a
name.
cool redesign too, if that's what they're going with, because
Mhm.
like with before, I think the reason I never got pulled into Namor is he is just like a hot guy in a bikini, like visually. And I
Sure.
understand that there's more lore there, but like visually, I was always worried about what they were gonna do on camera. I was like, are we just gonna have some dude in a banana hammock jumping around on screen? Like, I don't know why that made me so uncomfortable because like it's one thing in a comic book. Like, there's things they do in comics that I'm like,
Wait, are you
yeah, I
saying
love.
Speedos are not bronze compliant?
I
Is
don't
that?
want to see that. I really,
Well,
I don't want to see
look,
it.
don't go to the beach with me and Jesse, all right? It's
Even
Speedos,
like when they were
Speedo life.
talking about like doing Cowboy Bebop live action, Faye Valentine in the animated version does not make me uncomfortable. But if they didn't change her outfit for like the movie, I would have been like, we're gonna have two fully dressed men and a girl with like her
Yeah,
titties and ass, the bottom of her ass cheeks hanging out. Like,
sure.
I don't know why. If it's animated or if it's like a comic, it doesn't bother me. But, like, if it's, like, real, like, I was like, "Are we gonna have a dude in, like, with his bulge out there in the movie?" Like, I don't know why, I'm sorry, chat. Like, that shit, I was like, "I don't wanna see some person doing, like,
It's
action
different. Yeah,
choreography with that."
it's a different
Ugh.
thing. Yeah, I get it.
I was like, "It's gross."
I get it.
That being said, I'm sad they got rid of his widow's peak. Doesn't he have, like, a gnarly fucking widow's
Namor
peak?
does have a pretty
Yes.
crazy widow's peak.
I
Yeah,
I wish
like
they'd kept
it's
that.
like that's I think his main weapon is how sharp his widow peak is, so he can just headbutt people, take them
Listen,
out.
I love the widow's peaks, like Sinestro and Namor. I love that. I think
Yeah,
it's such a
Mr.
strong look.
Sinister got a huge widow's peak. Yeah,
Yeah,
crushing it.
I think that would have been cool.
Crushing it. So that'll be cool. The other thing about Black Panther: Wakanda Forever is they, I think, came out and said, I got to find the headline here. They were saying that Riri Ironheart will have a full-on
Mm.
suit in that film, most likely a Iron Man style suit.
How are they going to fit it all in there?
I don't know.
That everything,
It's funny because
not
it's a Black Panther film, and we haven't even mentioned like Black Panther.
yeah, not to be a hater, but everything we hear about that movie just makes me worry about it. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be negative but
No,
like
there's a lot going
every
on. You're totally
every
right.
piece of information that drops about it, I'm just like, what is happening? What is going on over there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot going on
There,
in that film.
man, just they have to fit in Atlantis storyline. Somehow they're fitting in Riri, and somehow they have to explain why T'Challa is not Black Panther anymore. All of that has to be done in one film. And the biggest plot point of all, what that man is doing in the ocean. Will they explain it? How will they fit it in? Will it be a major plot point? Is that why Atlantis goes to war? Someone tell me why.
You never
Tell
know.
me why.
Maybe they're pissed. Maybe they're pissed.
They should
I
be.
would hate. I would. What's a cooler storyline? That the man in the ocean helped Atlantis become Atlantis because they stole the technology from it, or that they're pissed off because the man in the ocean is in the ocean and they've been around for like centuries.
I would say it could be one of those things where Atlantis didn't want any trouble, and then a giant
But
man in the
how?
ocean earthquaked the hell out of Atlantis, and now they're like, y'all are bringing us trouble. Stop it.
Look, if here's the thing, if they do if Atlantis will be mentioned, there's no way it is not in that film, and we get 2 hours of Black Panther, however long that film is, with Atlantis being a major focal point, and they don't mention the man in the ocean, then Eternals doesn't exist in the MCU. Then that movie never happened in the lore of the MCU. I swear to God. I think that's the one where they're finally going to mention it. They have to.
Like it's weird. Like I like that we can tackle bigger stories because stories can build on each other when you have a cinematic universe. But even though Taika said it jokingly, like, "Oh, I'm gonna put goats in Thor so that way the next director has to deal with them." I love Taika and I think that's funny, but it actually made me think about that, and I was like, "This is also the issue with Star Wars."
Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
you have to constantly be like, "Oh, this person did this fucking shit, and now I have to do this fucking shit and address it." And it is like, I can't imagine that's fun as a director, as a writer to be like, "Okay, so because some bitch put a fucking giant man in the ocean, we got to spend 15 minutes of our movie describing that." And it's like, I don't know, in some ways that's where like cinematic universe kind of sucks versus like one shots like Logan.
Yeah.
Because in Logan, they basically are like, yeah, most of the mutants are dead, and this, basically Professor X has like become like a danger to himself and the entire planet because he's so powerful, and he's having these health issues. They couldn't do that if they were part of the MCU, because then we would have to be running in with the lore that all the mutants are basically dead.
Yep.
And they would never allow that to happen, right? So like, I don't know. I know it's like a long tangent, I'm sorry. But like, yeah, it bothers me sometimes, like that the Eternals put a man in the ocean. Because to me,
Well,
it's like you
yeah.
knew that we were gonna have to fucking deal with this,
Well,
and like
it's
no
even,
one's fucking dealt with
it's
it.
even weirder too, because I'm fairly sure I remember Feige coming out and saying like, oh yeah, the Eternals are gonna have like a huge impact on the
They had
MCU. Like
none.
they're gonna make a giant. It's gonna be a big deal. That movie came out. Some shit happened to that movie that sure should make a big. No one fucking cares. Like
No
no,
one fucking cares.
no one's talked
Yeah.
about it. They're like, no, we don't give a shit about any of that.
I think half
We're
the
like what,
reason
2
he
years
said that
later,
was
a
he
year later?
wanted people to go watch it, because
Yeah,
we knew before the film ever dropped that it takes place hundreds of years before the events of any of the other films. So I think everyone was like kind of thinking of it as optional viewing. So then they had to scramble and be like, "Wait, no. It's going to have a huge impact, guys. It's going to determine everything."
yeah.
And it's like, well, it didn't, because you can go watch Blade, and I promise you they will reintroduce Black Knight, because we barely met him in Eternals to begin with. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Yep.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. That Black Panther comes out this year, right? Isn't that this November? I think.
I've never been more afraid that we're not going to see what happens. I'm convinced they're just going to move on, and I'm going to be upset for years.
No,
For years.
they have to. Yeah, November 11th this year. That seems fucking crazy to me. That we're already getting the second Black Panther this year. I think the last time we discussed this, I've had the same. I haven't like normalized the idea that the second Black Panther is coming out this year.
I really hope that movie is good.
Yeah, I mean, you hope all these movies are good, right? Like,
Yeah, I hope
got a
it's
lot
good.
going on.
That being said, the hopes are like the expectations, I should say, are not high.
They're gonna have to cram a massive amount in there for sure. And
I
I'm
will
with you.
say this.
Hope they nail it.
It was so like Helen McCrory, one of my favorite actresses. If people have watched Penny Dreadful, you've seen her.
Yes.
And Peaky Blinders. She passed away of cancer.
Yep.
In between Peaky Blinders seasons. And I was like, oh gosh, how are they going to handle this? And I actually did like, without spoiling the new season, I actually did like how they handled it. I do still think it affects the writing 100%.
Sure.
I do like, and there's no fixing that, but it's like, what else do you do when unfortunate things like this happen?
Yeah. I've always had this conversation of I've always brought up the ideas of how they handle his death with you guys, and got curious on y'all's thoughts. If they come out and say that like Black Panther in MCU canon died from like someone from Atlantis, is that work? Is that like a proper send off, or like do they go like what is the proper send off? Is it a in canon death?
You can't.
Like how do you do that with also having reverence for the actor?
That's what I'm saying. You can't just say a thing. You have to, in some way, at least because it's such a big film, you
Yeah,
have to, in some way, give us something more than
a
they
line.
died.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, they can put it's hard to say this. I actually feel like I don't want to insult the actor, but they could put someone else in that suit to film a scene, right? If they want to show like an
There's
on-screen
going
death.
to be there. I think because of the cast and crew, no matter what. We're gonna get an in canon funeral scene
Yeah.
for sure. That's happening.
Well,
I don't.
Well, I mean, for like trailers, what does a trailer look like for that film?
No clue. No clue. Again,
It's got to have a somber tone to it because no one is like, yeah, I can't wait to see Black Panther. It's like, right, that actor passed away. How shit? Like, how do you generate hype over that? I don't know. It might, yeah. It could also just be like a super sad, somber film. I don't know.
I do think it's smart that they're using it as a platform to launch essentially who's going to take over as the, you know, like kind of the new generation. If that's
or
like
part of it,
Shuri
for sure.
and Riri, then
Yeah.
how they're gonna do all of that in one movie, I don't know. But personally, I think based off of Captain America and Winter Soldier and based off of the movies, I truly feel like we already have like a winning or vetted sort of we've tried out Dora Milaje stuff and it's so good. I am confused like why that hasn't been announced. Like why there isn't just like a Dora show or a Dora movie.
Yeah.
Cuz I do find that to be really interesting.
They could probably do a Disney Plus show after Black Panther 2 comes out. If they announced that, I'd be there day one to watch the Dora Milaje.
Because you have like
exist.
the spy, you have like the warrior, you have like all these like strong women
that
are all good at different things. Yeah, and I think it would be like really cool to see them deal with the fallout or the aftermath of their leader essentially dying, right? Like that would lead to some instabilities and I think that could be really cool. So I hope there's at least some of that in this movie.
Me too. We will see come November, or I guess whenever a trailer comes out for that sometime this fall. One last big bit of news here, and then we'll talk a little bit of Miss Marvel. Rocket Man star Taron Egerton is apparently in talks with Marvel regarding the Wolverine role. How do we feel about old Taron Egerton? He's
you mean I don't know anything about Rocket Man, but you mean the Kingsman?
He's also the Kingsman. He was very good in Rocket Man. If you have not seen Rocket Man, he's phenomenal. Unfortunately, Wolverine's not a singing role, so he won't be a part of that.
I think
he won't use those chops, but yeah.
Like, dude can act. Dude is fine.
I just don't know if he has the like.
He doesn't like have what's the word I'm looking for? Too pretty.
He is a pretty boy. Logan's not a pretty boy. You're right.
In Kingsman, he has the James Bond look down. He has the Kingsman look. He looks like a Bond character. Yeah. That's not Wolverine though.
No. I mean, look here.
I mean, if they can make him look like it, I'll buy into it. But currently, the man who he is doesn't have a Wolverine look. He has like a I'm gonna sexy squint at you look. You know what I mean? Like every photo, he's like,
Chat's making a great point here. Hugh Jackman is not ugly.
No, but Hugh Jackman is hairy as shit. Hugh Jackman has that like hairy man look.
True. It's a tough role. We can show can we show topless males on Twitch?
Yes, that's the perfect word. Hugh Jackman is rugged. Taron Egerton looks like I don't know. He has that like polished, poshy guy.
It's what
and
that's him ripped. That's the muscles he's put on for old Wolverine.
He doesn't have that like vibe.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tough sell. I don't look at that and see Wolverine.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But, makeup could do a lot, I guess. So we'll see. I don't know who plays Wolverine if it's not, right? Like it's an impossible role, no matter who gets cast as that. And it's a pretty big.
Hold on.
What are you finding it?
Jesse Cox once again coming through with my number 1 pick.
Oh boy.
Boom. There you go. Look at that photo.
Who is this?
This is why I think the man should be Wolverine.
I don't
Tell me I'm wrong,
no,
world. Tell me I'm wrong.
Here's the reason why. Look. Why
Daniel Radcliffe, tell me I'm wrong.
Men?
Tell me I'm wrong. That's Wolverine. That's a Wolverine right there. That dude is short.
Look,
that's Wolverine.
It's because he has a beard. Like you could put a beard on Terran.
Yeah, tell me I'm wrong though. That's Wolverine. That's Wolverine.
He needs a shit. Like this man needs to be introduced to fucking steroids. All right, get him some creatine.
Fine. Yeah, well, of course.
Put some steroids.
Of course, he's not like mega ripped, because that's not him getting mega ripped for Wolverine. That's just the man for some other movie. Still a better Wolverine. Convinced me.
The other thing,
if they fed him some hamburgers, that man would be a Wolverine.
Look, if they
got him, look, let me in his life for a day. Be like, all right, this is what you do. You wake up, you have 2 toaster strudels. All right, then you down it with an energy drink of some sort. For lunch, you're ordering in from Buffalo Wild Wings. You're gonna get yourself a chicken sandwich and a 10 you don't want the regular wings, boneless. You need that extra fat. Get them boneless things. All right.
Okay.
Then instead of working out, you're gonna sit around all day playing video games. All right. Once you're done with that, for dinner, fuck that salad. We're gonna get you a pizza. I'd help that man.
Here, the thing is, I think, and I'm seeing it in chat, so it's only reaffirming my opinion on this. That's fucking Harry Potter, man. Like, I can't not. Anytime I see him, it's Harry Potter.
Doesn't matter.
It's fucking Harry Potter.
Motherfucking Twilight's Batman now. Y'all got to open your mind.
Harry Potter doesn't have the cultural significance of Twilight. What?
Get the fuck out of it. Are you saying no? That's the
Are
worst
you
take
saying
I've ever
that
heard.
Twilight is bigger than Harry Potter?
No, but I'm saying that the actor for Twilight is so tainted by that he went on and did crazy shit and still became Batman.
I think, I mean, maybe you might have a point there. I was going to say, I think even in its negativity around Twilight, Harry Potter is still like so much more significant as a role that it would just be pinned to that actor for
Here's the thing though. I'm saying by the time an X-Men movie comes out, you got to think generationally over time, him as Harry Potter is going to start to wear off.
You would think that. I still can't. That's fucking Harry Potter. I'm looking at him right now. This man is.
I understand.
Topless. He's got hair. He's got
just think about this. For a lot of people, Robert Downey Jr. wasn't Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. was something else, and then he was Iron Man because no one else could play Iron Man the way he could. So he became Iron Man. And all I'm saying is, for a lot of people, he's Harry Potter, but that generation is growing up, and there's a younger generation of kids who don't associate him with Harry Potter.
If I have to choose,
and they can associate him with Wolverine.
If I got to choose between Terran and old Daniel wins 100 times to 1, right? Like he is who I would prefer. I just don't know if like Hollywood would be able to get past like, hey, we're gonna book Harry Potter as Wolverine, right? Like,
of course. Honestly, if Terran shows up and is good, I'm fine. Like, it doesn't affect me in any way. I just, most of the time when there's casting, I'm always just like, someone must know what they're doing. So I'm gonna just let them do it because there's so much money on the line. There's no way they'd screw it up. And most of the time in superhero things, they kind of nail it, unless it's Sony, in which case Sony doesn't know how to cast shit.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Yeah, someone in my chat says, I mean, Rupert Grint become Ed Sheeran, so he did. That is true. You can make a star out of anyone, really, when it comes down to that. Bronze, do you have any stake in the Wolverine casting?
No, I have to see them.
You have to see them as Wolverine.
No.
Yeah, people shit on Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
You know, is
It
he
is
my
true.
favorite Joker? No. Is he a good Joker? Yeah.
Wait,
I think
who's
it's
your favorite
about
then? Is Jack Nicholson? Who's your favorite?
uh it's
Just say it. Just say what
like
needs to be said.
Hamill.
Yeah,
Hamill.
Hamill is the
Okay.
best Joker.
Okay.
Just say
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
And I
Sure.
understand that like that's not like but I will say I think Ledger brought something different to the role cuz he knew he wasn't going to be able to do that.
Right.
Do you know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
And some of that's direction. Some of that's like director stepping in and being like, "All right, this isn't fucking working. This is really bad. Let's get your take on this character." Instead of trying to force an actor into a box they don't fit in, and some of that is the actor putting their own touch on it, right? And figuring out, "Okay, how do I change this to fit me?" Because there's nothing more cringe than seeing someone trying to be somebody else. Like, it just about never works. It's much better to just have a different same thing with Batman. I love when we get people playing Bruce Wayne that are like, "This is my version of Batman," versus people that are like, "I'm gonna copy the other popular," because I think, like, if Pattinson had tried to be Bale, it would have been really bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I like Pattinson's take on it, but he's still not my favorite Batman. My favorite Batman is Keaton. So,
It's
I
good
don't know what
Batman.
that says
It's
about
good.
me.
I think that's good Batman. I think Keaton's good Batman.
He's my favorite Batman.
Yeah. I don't think there's a wrong answer there. Well, no, there's probably a wrong
For
answer.
some
But
people, their favorite is Affleck, and I don't
that
really
might be the wrong.
understand it.
Might be the wrong answer. He's not.
Let's just
okay.
agree the
He's
worst
okay.
is Clooney.
Yeah,
can move on.
Clooney was like, why the fuck are you Batman? That's true.
Well,
Nipple
'Cause
Batman.
he was the
didn't fly.
it guy at the time, and they put him in the movie,
Yeah,
and they're like, "Oh, the Hollywood it guy is Batman. Get it?"
yeah,
Everyone was like, "No,
yeah,
no, we don't."
Yeah, that was a really bad decision.
yeah. That's Nipple Batman. He's not great.
N
He's not great.
I thought for some reason I always think Val Kilmer was nipple Batman.
Nope.
Nope.
Val Kilmer was Dick Pouch Riddler.
Don't ever say the word or phrase "dick pouch" again, Jesse. That I am striking that from your vocabulary. That's couch
Dick
talk.
Pouch Riddler.
Get that out of there.
Val Kilmer's did have nipples. Great.
Get it out of there.
Great.
Okay, thank you, chat. So I'm not crazy. So Kilmer had the nips as
Oh,
well.
he did. Okay. I just don't remember him. Maybe they weren't as
It's
prominent.
such a strange design choice.
It really is.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's like they made it and they're like, this looks too plain. They're like, okay, let's adorn it with something. Well,
What would he have?
I've got these nipples, Bob. You want to put
Nipples.
those on this?
Nothing strikes more fear into enemies than exposed bat nipples.
Yeah. Was it Clooney who had the back credit card? Probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Clooney had the back credit card. The Clooney one has the the Clooney one is so bad, but
Some of those scenes
in Hollywood
are like
is
stuck
like,
in my brain though from that film.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Someone in Hollywood was like, this movie's gonna suck, but I'm gonna design the most memorable
Yeah.
one-liners you will
Well,
ever.
it's got insane one line. The sets also like I can see that film so clearly in my brain with the sets with Mr. Freeze and Riddler and all that is. Anyways. Well, we might have our Wolverine. It might be Terran.
I think it's so soon. I can't believe they're doing it already. It's crazy.
Well, he said he was having conversations, right? Like he hasn't. There's nothing's been announced. Nothing's been signed. I think if they do that, that's like a pretty big. It's a big deal, right? Like they'll probably have some announcement around that and make a big mention of it. That's not. I don't think that's something you just like plop it. You don't have Terran sitting at a bar or something with like mud chops and his hair all like blown back in a movie
It just
to
seems
reveal
like-
him. It's set up so much further ahead of that.
when does Phase 4 end? 2024, right?
I think that was the original timeline. Yeah, I don't know. They haven't like I feel like Feige's like, man, fuck phases. Why the fuck do we get all this phase bullshit?
It really is kind
'Cause
of
they-
all over the place.
They're all over the place right now. They really are.
But even so, Phase 4 is, if that ends 2024, the assumption is an X-Men movie at the earliest would be 2025.
2025, 2026, yeah.
3 years from now.
Yeah.
Even casting wise, there's no way they have a movie even written yet.
They're probably, I would think they're doing scripts. They're probably working out the scripts. 100%.
No way.
I think
They might
do
have an
100%.
outline. They might have an outline. There's no way they have a script or a writer. There's no way. They haven't. There's still movies that they don't even have a Fantastic Four. There's no script for Fantastic Four. That shit doesn't exist.
Maybe. It is Marvel we're talking about. They are,
Again, they might have outlines, but no one's written that movie yet.
Yeah.
They're still trying to figure out what works and what doesn't in Phase 4.
Well, that's
they're
very true.
definitely waiting to see what happens with Thor and with Black Panther for sure.
True.
They literally just had that meeting. You're telling me they had that retreat and they weren't like, scrap everything, let's start over.
Well, that was probably a, like, what the fuck are we doing type retreat. Like, we got a plan. It's probably like Feige being like, I'm tired of doing this shit by myself. All right. We need more people in here. I've done 29 goddamn films now. I'm a little tired, guys. We got to get some help. So
There's too many cooks in the casserole.
yeah. Is that how that saying goes?
I think so.
I think that's how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too many cooks in the casserole.
All right, Bronze, it's time for your favorite part of the show.
Oh my God, no!
It's time to talk about Miss Marvel.
Kill me.
Hey, I'll be the first to say it. Episode 4 sucked. That was, I think, the worst episode for me of Miss Marvel thus far.
I need to say what I've been saying this entire time. And
Yeah.
Episode 4, Miss Marvel, is the perfect example. The TV shows that they're creating are too fast-paced.
Yeah.
So much happened. We went to another country, landed,
Yeah.
were immediately thrown into a bunch of shit, met a bunch of characters, got rid of a bunch of characters, ended up on a chase, ended up back in time. In one episode.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
I didn't like the episode. I thought a lot of it was just stupid. I really did.
And I will also say, for the record, I love her family, but her cousins suck ass.
Oh no, her cousins are giant piece. They left a
They left her
teenager
alone, bro.
in the middle of like a market and just was like, yeah,
And
just figure it out.
The worst part is you could tell there was an ADR moment where it's like, all right, suit yourself. We're going to go away now. I was
Yes. Yeah.
what? Yeah, dude, I don't know.
That's kind of my issue with it. Is like, it's a bunch of Americans writing about what they think Desi people are like. Does that make sense?
Is it though?
I have notes. Hold up. It is.
Are the writers
It really is.
not
I refuse
aware?
to believe any of these people have lived in Pakistan or India for an extended period of time. I'm sorry. I refuse to believe it. I absolutely refuse to believe it.
Is that
I feel like they
director?
visited
So,
once or twice.
The director was Charmin Obaid Chinoy. Hopefully,
I'm talking about the writers. I'm talking about the writers.
Story was by
the two writers.
Sabir Perzada, and teleplay was Sabir Perzada and AC Bradley, as well as Matthew Chauncey.
The
Okay,
writers for
and
the entire
have the-
series.
I don't know
I'm trying
anything.
to see.
Sabir is. I don't know much about him. He was on Moon Knight as producer. He did Person of Interest. I don't know anything about his history though. I just can pull up. his IMDb.
Regardless,
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if they are or aren't. If they are, I'm sorry, I'm calling you out. There is. So I guess like the reason I have a very unique perspective on this is I have literally been both people. You know, I moved to India when I was like 9 or 10, and I was the very much American kid. And then I lived there for 10 years and would have my Americanized cousins visit me. So I have had both experiences like very fully.
Yeah.
Now, will your cousins clown you? Yes, over shit that anybody would laugh at. So, like, one of the things I'm so sorry, Iman Vellani, bitch, you gotta learn Urdu. I'm sorry. Her pronunciation is hilarious to
Is
me.
it bad?
Like, so at one point, she points out her grandma's bangles and she goes, "Oh, mom, that's such a cute churi." Churi is like what our word for wench. Churi is a word for bangle. And there's a difference between a churi and a churi.
Okay.
And if you have the ear for it, you can hear it. So I was like, "Oh, that's so cute." She has like fob or not fob, like she has like NRI English is what we call it, non-resident Indian or NRI pronunciation. That's the type of shit they will clown you for. It's like, "Oh yeah, you like those cherries?" That's the type of shit they will clown you for. It's like, "How the fuck you are Pakistani and you don't know how to say churi?" Like, you speak Punjabi, your whole family speaks Punjabi. That was, like, the number one thing my cousins clown me for is like, "But your mom's Punjabi is so beautiful. Why is your Punjabi so bad?"
Mm.
But it was, like, never malicious, and it like, the stuff they clown you over isn't the stuff that was shown, like, in the show. So it definitely felt like it feels like there's a lot of self-insert here. And I pointed this out last week with, like, Nakia being like, "I was always too white for the brown girls and always too brown for the white girls." I was like, "Yes, because Indians are so famous for being horribly rude to each other." Like, that type of shit, I was like, "Okay, let's hope they drop that thread," but then they brought it back with, like, "Look at how mean all these Pakistani kids are to Kamala and even Kareem, like, the first time she meets him, look at how mean he is to her," and to me, it was like, that's not what it is, though. We're a country that we naturally roast each other. I mean, I think a lot of ethnic families in America would probably understand too. It's never bullying. It's always like you kind of casually like roast each other in passing. The only people I've personally seen do this is like I've seen a lot of black parents do it. Like when their kid does something stupid, they'll like roast them a little bit instead of like, screaming at them.
Yeah.
And that's a very Indian thing, like where you roast them a little bit. So some of the exchanges between Kamala and her mom, that's closer to what it, in my experience, is like when her mom is like, okay, so here's an example. I told my dad, "Oh, hey, dad, I want to get my driver's license," when I lived in Punjab. And my dad said, "Tenu tora na ta aanda nahi, tu gaddi chalayegi?" Like, you don't even know how to drive your 2 feet. And now you're going to get behind a car. Like, you're definitely going to kill somebody. That is what
Good
they
roast,
do.
Dad.
And
It's a good roast.
yeah. And I was like, "What do you mean I don't know how to drive my 2 feet?" Like that's the way they kind of like, they're like, "Okay, all right, yeah, no." And so, like, for example, like the kids there, anytime I was like a fukri, which is like when you're like, "Oh, well, in America, we have it like this," they would do this. And it's called like lapet, and it's like they're wrapping up all your bullshit. And then when you're done, you're like, "Are you done?" Okay. And they throw it away. And I was always like, "Man, that's so fucking mean." But now that I think about it, I'm like, "Nah, my little American ass did go over there like, in America, we don't have that. We have." So I probably deserved the lapet a little bit. So, like, her cousins leaving her after being so excited to see her made no sense to me other than a plot device.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it felt like.
they were there
Yeah.
for,
Yeah,
to drop her off in the market so she could go do her own thing.
I
Yeah.
had, like, notes here, and one of the notes I wrote down was, like, "You would never leave an unattended girl in a city like that."
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't
that
matter
I
what city.
literally
You would
wrote
never do
that.
that.
Yeah, you would
Any
never do it.
city,
I
yeah.
literally wrote, like, "You would never leave." I wrote, "Leave her alone?" 7 question marks. I literally wrote that, "Leave
7
her
question
alone!"
marks.
with 7 question marks because I was just like, you don't do that. Like, that's a death warrant.
Yeah,
I'm
in any
not saying,
city.
like, Karachi's dangerous, I'm saying, like, any place is dangerous. You would never, ever do that, especially with the girl that is over like, is barely speaks Urdu or Punjabi. Actually, she speaks Punjabi primarily in the show. Why? Unless you wanted her to die. And then they did that very strange scene right before where it's like, "We can't go inside because Kamala's wearing jeans." I was like, "What is the point of this scene? Why do they keep mentioning that she's wearing jeans?" It was
Can
so
I
confusing to me. They're like, "We have to sit on the balcony because Kamala's wearing jeans." I was like, what is happening here?
Can
Why is
Can I
this
tell you
scene
what I
here?
think was going on? Because I just found the tweet and I wanted to share this because you were asking about the writers.
Mhm.
There was a tweet earlier this week that was about episode 4, and it said all of it was drawn from very personal experiences of, boy, I'm going to butcher this name, Sabir Pirzada,
Oh yeah,
and
Sabir
other
Pirzada.
Pakistani writers in the room.
Yeah.
And then the director and everyone was trying to like. So I think what ended up happening is they put like, this is an experience I had, put in the episode. And
So
that
I'm
moment
right
you're
about it
talking
being a
feels like
self-insert.
that.
Because I literally said this feels like self-insert. And here's the thing. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, Sabir. You got to heal, baby. You got to let it go. You know what I mean? Like, this holds you back as a writer because the bitterness comes through in this episode. This bitterness about, like, they never understood me. They never supported me. They never. Girl, therapy. Like, you got to heal from this and you got to stop kind of like letting that tinge the way you write other dissy people because you're kind of doing them a disservice, you know? And could I see someone being unincluded from a resort because they wore jeans? Yes, but why are we acting like that doesn't happen in America, baby? That happens here too. There are dress codes everywhere. I don't
Everywhere.
understand why
Yeah.
you needed to have a 10-minute diatribe about it in the middle of an episode where it did not, where the
Especially at a
episode was
boat
already
club.
rushed. Yeah,
Yeah.
the episode was already rushed. And you know, this did nothing to serve the plot or take it anywhere other than it just kind of felt like you're bitching. And there's multiple times in the episode where I'm like, this is a self-insert. Like, your cousins made fun of you when you got off the plane and you needed to put that in here. You
It
know?
does.
Sure.
So like,
Mhm.
it's hard for me because like so many of the characters are unlikable. Now a lot of people like the Nunny. I can't like her. She is a horrible woman. And people keep posting screenshots like Kamala and her Nunny, and I'm like, but she's fucking horrible to Kamala's mom. Or does no one see that? How fucking horrible she is to her own daughter.
Yeah.
The first thing she says when she touches her face when she gets off the plane is, "Oh, your skin's dry." That is no, I know ladies like that. I literally
Mhm.
know Indian women like that. And I was like, this bitch is fucking satanic. And the only reason she's nice to Kamala is because she wants to get under her daughter's skin of being closer to her daughter than she is. Does that make sense? Like, but who does that? Like, hey, I haven't seen you in 10 years. Oh, your skin's dry. You need to change your skincare routine. Da-da-da-da-da. She's perpetually annoyed by her child.
Yeah.
Perpetually. And like, oh, you went to America to get away from me. She's like, no, my life was hell. And even when she does something nice, because like her like massaging the legs, by the way, this is a dissy trope. This is considered like a very I gotta give y'all the context of that. This is like, oh, I'm gonna
That's how a
massage my
conversation-
grandma's legs or my mom's legs, you know? Yeah, like that's like a trope of like, oh, I'm a good child. And you like, you know, anytime your mom's mad, you might grab their legs and massage their legs. Like, you know, this is like a thing in our culture. So if that
Yeah.
seems weird,
No,
it's like
I
it's
figured as such
considered.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so when she goes to do that and she says, "You're just using this as an excuse to take out your frustrations on me," I was like, "You're a fucking cunt. You're a fucking bitch." Like, and once again, I don't know if they mean to write her like that, but I was like, this woman has tried to meet you halfway on everything. And including coming to this fucking country and
Yeah.
bringing her fucking daughter when she could have told you to fuck off. And you didn't even go to her son's wedding. You didn't go to your grandson's wedding. So, like, I have 18 reasons why you're a fucking bitch. And the little barbs, they're too real for me. Whoever wrote that part has definitely been around Indian moms because I was just like, this is some, I know aunties like that where I would see them for the first time in 10 years and they'd be like, "Oh, hi, Jasmine. How are you? I see that you broke out. Yeah. Do you want
They just
I
go
have the
straight to a
theme."
negative thing. Yeah.
Yes, or like, "Oh, tu kali hogi, tera rang pakka ho gaya," which is just like, "Oh, hi, Jasmine. You're very dark." Like, and you're just like, "Why the fuck would you say that to me?" Or like, "Oh, you're fat." And it's just like, so when immediately she's like, "Oh, your skin is dry," I was like, "You're a stupid bitch. Why would you fucking be like that?"
Triggered something. It struck a
It
chord.
did. I
Yeah.
was like, why this you're seeing your kid for the first time forever, and the first thing you're gonna say is her skin is dry.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so weird. But also, once again, that was rooted in reality. I was like, somebody heard this from their mom when they saw them for the
Sure.
first time in 10 years. And any little remark she says, like, "Oh, it's the paint's chipping or we need to get it repainted," and she argues with her, and immediately Kamala's mom says, like, "मैं तो सिर्फ कह रही थी." Like, I was like, yeah, she was just saying, "Oh, it needs a new paint job." She's not saying, "Paint it right now." Like,
Yeah.
that woman can't say anything without her mom correcting her or guilting her,
Mhm.
and she's like, "Look at this mess," and she's, like, trying to help her clean it. And you hear her make a passive aggressive remark earlier, like, "Your mom's on a cleaning frenzy, so I came up here to get away from her." Oh, no, your daughter came back from Pakistan and is helping you? Oh, what a bitch. What a horrible person that she came from her clean home in New Jersey to help you organize yours. What a horrible human being for her to help her elderly mother. And then, like, when she's down there and she's like, "Why do you have, like, old newspapers and toffees?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I got these toffee tins because of you, and, I knew you liked them, so I kept them around thinking that you'd come back." And you see, like, Kamala's mom's facade break for a second, and she goes and sits there, and that's the first thing she says is like, "You're just doing this to take out your anger on me." And I'm like, can't stand this woman. So seeing people on social media love her, I'm like, how do you not see, like, all of the passive aggressive shitty things she does?
Yeah.
It's so clear that she just gives Kamala what she wants because that's what her mom doesn't give her, if that makes sense. Like, "Oh, your mom won't let you go? I'll let you go." Why? Because I hate that bitch. So whatever she does, I'm gonna do the opposite of it. I can't stand her. I literally can't stand her. I think if she ends up being the big bad, I will fucking be happy because I will be like, she's written to be the
It's
big bad.
it's a little ambiguous, right? Like I think with
Yeah.
the end of the episode when she you know is either having a vision or straight up traveled back in time. If that's really like some sort of time travel, there's a paradox that might exist where uh Kamala was the one that caused all of that. If she did travel back in time. Where
I have
instead of like
theories. I
whatever the
think
other.
Kamala traveled back in time to create the star trail that her own great
Yes.
grandmother's gonna follow.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yes.
saying. It's a
Yeah.
paradox. Yeah.
But I do think that the grandma's evil. I
Well, no. I
that
very
she's
much
manipulating
understand.
Kamala too much.
I understand the thing about the grandma. To me, again, I feel like this goes back to the fact that once again we're watching another show where they're like, "All right, you got to cram a bunch of shit into episode 4," and the idea of the way the grandmother acts versus the way the mom acts. One of the show's responsibilities is it has to give us a moment where mom and daughter realize that, like, Kamala's mom is like trying to protect her and she loves her and what she's doing is for her, like that kind of shit. And then they have to have that moment where they like recognize each other as human beings. You know what I mean? And I think
Mhm.
what's going on with the grandmother is straight up just like, we need to make her so, like, we need to really hammer home in the 6 minutes she's on screen exactly who this character is and why it humanizes the mom. And so the mom is being a
Yeah.
nice person, and it's just so much. Again, there is a
And to be
scene.
fair, I don't hate I don't hate the way she's written. It's just weird to me that people like her. Like, there's
Oh,
literally a
yeah.
scene where she tells her daughter, like, "Oh, I wanted you to know these legends," and her daughter's like, "I needed you to be my mom."
Right.
And the grandmother has no answer. She has no answer of like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Nothing. And you come home and you see this woman who looks like she's been crying, eating toffees, sitting on her kitchen table, and I teared up. I was like, this woman she's been done a great disservice by her mom. She had to grow up fast
Yeah.
because it's very clear her mom does not have her shit together. And it's very clear she has no intention. She wasn't capable. It's not that she wasn't capable. She had this crazy pipe dream. It's like that, that like trope that Jesse was talking about where it's like, oh, he ruined our lives chasing this thing. I was like, no, she actually ruined her life chasing this thing. Like, understanding how Disney culture works. Like, yes, if you have a crazy mom who's so like off the rails chasing this legend that her husband leaves her, you will get clowned by your neighbors. And like how quickly her mother dismisses that and is like, no, that's not why. And it's like, but she just told you that's why. So
Mhm.
number one, you have no reason to doubt that other than just denial. Because she's like, no, that's not why you left. And she's like, no, that's literally why I left. Like, people wouldn't leave me alone. Everywhere I went, like, I was mocked, and like, dad left and you still didn't straighten up your act. And like, I needed you to be my mom. And I don't know if they cut it or if they didn't have time, but the fact that her grandmother has no answer to those things, but then turns around and being like, "Oh, Kamala beta," I'm like, "No, you're a demon. I cannot believe you treated you before you. You are lucky that your granddaughter's even in your life. Because if I was Kamala's mom, I'd be like, you're never gonna see my children."
What?
Especially after not coming to my son's wedding, I was
That-
like, "You will never see my children."
That was also a little weird. They didn't even have a conversation about going.
So I mean, she said to her, and there was no really response to it.
Yeah.
She's like, "You didn't even show up." It is, Bronze. You're totally right. I just was thinking back to that. The entire interactions are like a more, what's the right word for this? It is a more characterized version of the interaction between Nick Cage and John Voight in National Treasure. It's the exact same thing where the dad, it is. The dad is like,
holy shit.
I hate my father because he went on some wild adventure and he made me look like a fool my entire life, and I don't want that for you. And at the end of the movie, you kind of sympathize with the dad, like, he was just trying to do you right, Nick Cage. But Nick Cage and the dad come together to like
defeat,
defeat
evil.
And I think that's what's happening here. That's 100% what's going to happen here. Except it seems you're absolutely right, because it's so much shorter and it isn't as well defined in like a 2-hour movie. They are like, we need to really make sure people understand what this family's relationship is in as little time as possible. So make it tropey. And that's what it felt like. It felt like a lot of trope. It when you were talking about tropes, it's the same. It reminds me of the same thing when there's like, if it's a movie that takes place in Japan, there's always a washing back scene. And like, it doesn't need to be there, but it's always there.
Yeah.
There's always like we're going to take time to wash a back now. And like, don't you see? He or she is washing the back of this person, which means like, oh, okay, well,
yeah.
All right. You know, it felt very much like that. And that we're not even at the point where there's a fight scene where suddenly she is like battling a dude and is a badass, like throwing down platforms.
Also,
I'm like, when did she learn that? When did that happen?
That we haven't even gotten to that yet. But to talk about the whole like Red Dagger vigilante group, like that character exists in the comics, and like I know there's it's not something they created for the show. That being said, they kind of fucking suck. Like, that feels straight CW. Ever since someone said that it feels like a CW. It just
also I am willing to bet my lemon poppy seed muffin I have sitting next to me that boy is from Canada or America, because his accent was so. I mean, I think even as Americans, y'all had to hear it. His accent was so fucking bad. I was like, what is going on?
Because the second he showed up on screen, I was like, this guy fucking sucks. I hate this guy.
Yeah, his accent is so horrible, and then like he's such an asshole for no discernible reason.
He's American, according to someone in my chat.
I didn't understand why he was such an asshole. Like, I don't know. I just don't think you should make I'm not saying Dissy people can't be assholes. I want to be clear with that. I want to be clear about that. I'm not saying Dissy people can't be assholes. I just think it's a very strange choice to be like, we're going to Pakistan. Here's a bunch of, resident Pakistani people. Let's write all of them to be dickheads. And I was like, this is so weird. And like some of the points he made, if he was the only snarky one, I would have understood it better. But because he was so snarky after the two snarky cousins who were assholes for no reason, at that point, I was like, that was so weird to me. I was just like, well, why are they being mean to her? Aren't they her friends? When I moved to India, no one was more excited to see me than my cousins. Like, that was like, and I get that that's my personal experience, but like, I was like, why is everybody just like, oh, I hate her. She's here now. Let's leave her in the middle of a bazaar and walk off. The fact that they don't, like, she stops and pays somebody for directions is the most unrealistic shit in the entire world.
Wait,
I'm like, bitch.
The photo guy that like.
Yeah. And he gives her like these
that was
ridiculous.
Kind of a scam, right? Like that.
It was a scam. And then
Okay.
she
That was
still
a
ends up
photo
at the
scam.
train station. Here's what I don't understand. Kamala, beta, you've been in Pakistan before. You've been in Karachi before. We see you riding an auto rickshaw later in the day. Why is your asking for directions? Go up to a rickshawala and say, oh, train station leke chalo. And you get in there. Why the fuck are you? Why would you ask a crazy photo guy? You know this because it's implied she's been there before. She knows about the country, And I'm just like,
Yeah, I didn't quite get that.
why are you
But-
asking random photo wala? Like, what? Damag hil gaya? Why wouldn't you just go get an auto rickshaw? They're everywhere. You never have to worry. You don't need an app, chat. You don't need anything. Okay, that's what's great about these countries. You literally get on a rickshaw and
Away
you go.
Yeah.
And it costs like $3, and you're there. The biggest thing you have to worry about is them taking you the long way.
Right. The thing that I need to stress, like I must stress this when talking about this show. We had 3 episodes of a young high school girl discovering powers and goofing around with those powers. And then she finally has a moment where she has to use her powers and she barely knows how to do it, to the point where a kid almost falls to his death.
Right.
Then we have a scene where she's attacked and she can barely fight, reflexively uses her powers to protect herself. And that is the most she's ever been in danger. But thankfully, the superhero police show up and stop the brawl before it can get bad.
Sure.
And then the next thing we
Skrull
see,
agents.
she is off to Pakistan to do background story on her life and meet her family.
She's looking for the other bracer. All right. Like that. She had reason to do that.
Sure.
It was just quick.
Doesn't matter though, because she goes off. We have not seen any sort of practice or any sort of her getting better. The next time she uses her powers, she is throwing down with a red scarfed ninja, and she is like pew pew pew. She's running and jumping and making fists and punching and dodging and blocking knives with her powers. And then it's like, okay, you're good. We're gonna train you. She trains for exactly 6 minutes before all those dudes are dead. And then she's like, well, I guess I'm gonna go off and become a superhero now because someone gave me. He's like, this outfit shit we're giving you, that right there, it's important. She's like, okay.
I do want to say
I'm 1/3 of the way to becoming my superhero.
The outfit is
crazy to me. That's how fast it went.
I think the way they're doing the outfits, this compared to other shows that they've done the outfits, I like it a lot better, where she's collecting the different pieces of it instead of just episode 5, it's time to get your outfit, right? That's how they've handled it in the past. The way that they're slowly building it this time around, I think that's a much better way to handle it.
That's fine, but
it's a different point from what you're trying to say. It's very fast.
Next speed.
Well, here, hold on. This is
crazy to me.
All you got to say.
We met a character. I was like, oh, that's a cool mentor.
Jesse.
I love this dude. He's actually a very good actor. This is wonderful.
He's a famous actor. Yeah, super famous.
Dead.
But here's all you got to say, Jesse, is this. The jinns from the other world got captured at the end of the last episode, right?
Immediately freed.
They're walking. I don't understand why they're walking in a fucking sewer place. If this is a super crazy prison, why the fuck are they walking next to a bunch of pipes? That was fucking weird. Within 30 seconds of seeing them, they immediately free themselves. Within less than a minute after that, they're right next to Kamala attacking her. Where?
Well, it was in the Indian Ocean, my man. It was right there. They just took a boat and they were like, we're very
it
close.
was so fast. It was so stupidly fast. I was so confused. How they
how
got
did
there?
they figure out where the fuck she was? It would have been so much more realistic because, Desi culture is Desi culture for them to show up at her house. Because it's not difficult to look up. Yes, it's not difficult to look up. You could go right now, and if you were to say my dad's name in the right part of the city, people would be like, "Oh yeah, he's over on that street over there. Yeah, I know who he is."
Yeah.
This is the fucking thing, especially in the village. If you're oh, do you know where so and so is, or the sarpanch or the sarpanch lakan? Oh yeah, it's down the street. Like you would be more likely, especially with how old that home is and how old that family is, to just legit name drop her grandma and be like, "Oh, do you know where so and so's house is?" And they would fucking tell you where that. It would make more sense for them to show up at her house, and then
Yeah.
we could have had a really
That,
cool
like-
fight scene in that house because that
I
house
agree.
was dope.
I agree.
Instead of showing up at this weird underground layer that you have to go through a kitchen to get to. How the fuck did they know where that shit was? And how the hell did they
Chinese
even come
Chinese
into the
kitchen.
ceiling?
Yeah, the Chinese
The
kitchen.
Chinese
led to
kitchen
yes.
underground skylight secret layer.
Yeah.
That
That building was very cool. I liked the set, but it was also weird.
It was very obvious they found a beautiful, beautiful building, and someone said we must film here.
Right.
But if you think about it, if you were a secret underground society with a place in the back of a Chinese restaurant, why would you have a giant
You have a skylight.
built in?
yeah.
Completely
no sense.
negates all of the work you're doing to make it
Yeah.
impregnable.
Sure.
It makes
Makes no
absolutely no
sense.
sense. So like
beautiful.
it
It
made
looks
no
beautiful,
sense
but it makes no
how they
sense.
figured out where she was and how to get there.
Did
It
they
just felt
track
like
the
another
bangle
plot
or anything
device.
like that? Was that their reasoning?
I guess they
They
can
said-
feel her newer. That's been how they've handled.
Stop.
Because
No,
literally,
don't
that's
say
what
that.
they've
Don't
been.
say that anymore.
That's what they've been doing this entire time.
I
There's
know,
no
but
reason
I
for
hate
her
it.
to come across Red Dagger, and then he's just like Kareem's just like, I felt you're newer,
Yeah,
and I
when
was
he
like,
said
is that
was
going to
like,
be our new
"Fuck
plot
you.
device?
Fuck
They
off.
always know where she is because of her newer. Her newer's
I
on
will
blast.
say
Oh,
that
man.
the way they tried to explain the Noor is at least they said it wasn't one of those things like everyone has it inside them. It was literally just if you're from that reality, you have that. I was like, okay, I can kind of buy that. But then all that meant is when you're in that reality, are your senses like overloaded?
They said
Because are you now feeling everything?
well, didn't they say that they have like superpowers when they're in their dimension, but being in our dimension, they're weakened or something like that?
Well, because it's oh boy, JP, it's dynamis, is what it is.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
dynamis. Shout out to my Final Fantasy 14 crew. It's dynamis.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is.
You're probably not wrong.
And that's
Like
yeah,
I have a pretty big suspension of disbelief when it comes to the MCU. So a lot of the stuff usually, I'm like, whatever, it's fine. I'm good. I'm whatever. This episode just made me upset. Right?
Well, because it's literally led into from episode 3. Like, I understand that characters have exponential learning curves because there's only so much you want to see somebody fail before you see them get better. But that being said, like literally episode 3, like Jesse says, we see her struggling and then she's doing moves we've never seen before and they comment on it in universe.
yeah.
And that's where it's hard to suspend, where it's like, no, we just saw her like literally 24 hours ago, not being able to do any of this.
Yeah.
What
exactly.
happened on that flight to Pakistan
They
where
gotta just
her
slow the
Noor
show
was
down.
activated? Now, on a lore note, something I found interesting is the leader of the red daggers literally says that she's not a djinn, right? He literally is like, well, if Thor landed in the fucking city, they'd call him a djinn. And like, you're not a djinn, you're an alternate reality being.
Right.
And I'm really happy that they did that they finally went back and retconned that a little bit. Cause I'm like, yo, this whole thing of like, you're a djinn. I was like, this is stupid. I'm so sorry. Like, this is horrible. Don't do this. I do like that they finally had that dude who, by the way, is the only person where I was like, yes, that's the accent I was expecting.
he
His
was
accent
a
and
very
demeanor.
good actor.
He was incredible in the show.
I've
and the fact they
seen
killed him,
him in stuff.
the fact
I've
they
seen
killed
him in stuff.
pissed me the fuck. Like, what? How the fuck are you going to introduce
Why would
that
they kill him?
guy?
He's the only good actor in
He
this show.
walks
I'm
in,
so sorry.
Here's a lore drop. I've prepared this presentation for you.
Literally, actually had a PowerPoint presentation about like this
I
is
am
the
so
lore,
confused.
This is why
if
it's
they
important.
if they had access to like Pakistani television and film actors like him, why doesn't the whole cast look and sound like that? I'm like really confused because I'm like, wait. I just thought you didn't know these people. You do know that these people exist? Okay, just curious because I feel like this is representative of what I thought your casting was going to be.
Yeah.
Instead of a bunch of Americans that are pretending to be from Karachi, because that's kind of cringe. Why didn't you get more dudes like this guy? He looked amazing. He dressed amazing. His screen presence reminds me of Desi dramas, the way he is on screen. It because when you look at the Bollywood greats, they are always dripping in screen presence. You have like a body language or whatever. He was the first dude that I saw that had it. I was like, this, and then speaking of, they just kill him off, which is annoying. Are we gonna gloss over the fact that like this kid also just throws daggers and murders people?
Oh yeah. He just straight
Like
up
that
murdered some
seems
people in
like
the
a
back.
lot,
No.
and Kamala doesn't
No.
seem at all
No,
fazed by it.
Bronze, no, you are incorrect. He does not just throw daggers and kill people. He also hangs out by the fire and eats bag rice while listening to music.
That scene was so
He's got friends. and they listen
That
to
was
jams.
listen, you know what that was? The director saw Life is Strange and was like, girl, listen. The whites, they have Life is Strange. What do us desi folk have? We need that. We need some, you know, kabhi kabhi mein tumse something
Life is
asmani.
Nor.
Kabhi kabhi
Life is Nord. No.
Life
Stop
is
it.
Nor.
Stop it.
da, 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 da. And like all of them like ha 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 ha
Stop it.
ha 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 ha.
Dude, that scene was like a Gene commercial. He's
I wanted
singing
to
and they're all like,
die. I wanted to
couldn't-
die. I was like, you really think this is what we're doing? You think we're playing guitar on the fucking beach? Girl, no. It was so cringe. And then she comes home, she's like, I had a really good time. I was like, girl, that is horrible.
No, that scene, I was like, I don't know who this is for, but it is not me.
It
It's
is
like a
right.
bunch of
12-year-old
old men
girl.
were like, this is what the kids want.
Yeah. I don't it's
Listen,
true.
listen.
I
this
don't
is
know
what
if
the
that was
kids
to
want.
build like camaraderie between her and the other kid, but
I am terrified we're about to have a love triangle between the original boy and then this kid.
There's no
I don't
chemistry,
think
so that
it's
would be highly
zero
unfortunate.
I don't think it's going to be a
That's
love
what I'm worried
triangle.
about.
I think it like I don't know. I don't think this
I don't
show
know if
cares
love
about
triangle
love
is the right word,
interest.
but, like,
yeah, I don't.
The interest of these two guys, there are gonna be two guys who are like, we're super into you, magic girl.
Yeah, is that episode
And-
6 where they have like a little trio, like the three of them are fighting the Jinn? Like,
Is
I
there
don't know.
time for a love triangle? I'm worried they're gonna try and fit that shit in.
No,
Because
they-
when she was
I
like,
don't think
when
they're
she
gonna
was
do
like, stay behind, you're weak, my son. Crazy that she was
Okay,
like, leave him. I was like,
Listen,
"What?"
that I will let go of the man in the ocean. Okay, I will let that go.
that.
But a
leaving your
desi
son.
woman not completely treating her son like he's the fucking golden child and everything he does is perfect, I refuse to believe it.
But she's
You don't know
a
what
Jinn,
people are like.
Bronze. She's a Jinn.
Nope. I'm so sorry, Dissy moms of the world, but y'all are obsessed with your fucking sons. Ask any Dissy one. You are obsessed. Those boys can do nothing wrong. Mother Lardla, they're so fucking special. Oh, my son. You baby them, you cook for them, you fold their fucking laundry, and the girls don't get
How do
any
I
of
get
that
in on
fucking
this?
privilege. They literally have a holiday in India where moms fast for the long life of their son. This is how precious, Lordy, there's a holiday in Punjab that's just for male children. You
Now,
will
Bronze,
die on the hill that your
Bronze,
sons are.
Bronze, I've never asked
That-
you this because it's never become a pertinent to the show. But what's your brother's name?
Yeah, how's your brother?
My brother would agree with me, by the way, because my brother, my dad favored me, but my mom, when I was growing up, listen, and the boy children, we have holidays for them.
Sure.
Holidays
Sure. It's
Holidays.
crazy.
just for them. So I'm like, I will believe there's a man in the ocean. I will believe that Miss Marvel can learn to, master her powers during one flight. I will believe a lot. I will never believe that woman left her kid behind. I will never believe that. She would have died.
She's a
She would have
Jen.
thrown herself in front of him if he shot.
Look,
There's movies about this.
aliens
there's
people do
movies
alien
about-
things, you know?
No. I
That's
refuse
'cause
to
she's
believe
not
it. They've
from
been
Earth.
living.
Don't you get it?
Yeah.
She's
No.
not. She's not
No.
one of them.
She's
from
clandestine.
the Nor
you know?
dimension.
Clandestine.
Nope. She still wouldn't leave him. so lame.
Also, by the
You
way, the
die.
name clandestine, I hate that as a villain. Like a villain
It's horrible.
organization name.
Did you look to
Horrible.
see what
Hate it.
that is in the MCU? It's like
No.
they've got clandestine is a entire other storyline that they kind of ripped from.
Don't like it.
Yeah,
Don't like it.
it's supposed to be Clan Destin is the last name of the clan.
Still,
It's
that
Destin.
I hate that even more.
Yeah,
That's like naming someone Blackagar Boltigan. It's terrible.
well, we've seen that they can't necessarily.
Clandestine?
Yeah, clandestine is a superpowered progeny.
Not the
Adam of
Destin
Destin,
clan?
who is
Even worse.
Adam of
Ugh.
Destin and Aleath, who are Jinns. They've got a whole
No,
Marvel
don't
database
like
page
it.
about them.
Don't like it. And what's even crazier
Kind of an
is
interesting
like
story.
they got to the point where they straight up just killed half the bad guys.
Oh, yeah, they
half the
definitely had some
bad
bad
guys
guys
are
take
dead,
some
too.
daggers in the back.
Why is she not at all phased that this boy is throwing daggers and murdering people?
Because that boy
This boy's kind of hot.
has emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of cute.
He gave her
has
some
emotions.
bag rice.
Yeah,
bronze.
and he's like
Okay,
sassy.
first of all, that's biryani. You got.
Oh, you mean bag rice? You mean bag rice?
Bag rice? Is
Oh,
that what that translates to directly?
Does that translate to bag rice? Also, when she's like, "Is it hot?"
I think bag
Or
rice is
spicy?
Canadian,
I was
right?
like,
It's like bagged milk. It's the same thing.
I almost died. See, the stuff they make fun of her for is not like that's what they would have clowned her for. When he's like, just try it. No, they would have been like, you can't eat spicy food.
They do that. They
Like,
make
because
that happens twice in the show. Like the cousins, don't they ask? Doesn't she ask like if it's spicy or something, and they all laugh?
when they're even at the club and she's eating, and the one woman's like, "You're sweating." It
Oh,
must
she's
be
wearing
those jeans, which
jeans.
is
Yeah.
insane.
Oh
And
yeah.
she's like,
okay.
"No, it's just this very delicious food that's too spicy."
That
for
was
me.
the line. That
Get
was the
out of
line,
town.
I will never get over that.
Yeah. What?
Her mom makes her desi food all the time. Why the fuck can't she eat spicy food? You grew up with it.
Can you explain what
Why
the
is this a thing?
you said biryani? How did you pronounce it?
Yeah, biryani. Biryani, I miss my dad's biryani. Biryani is like you take spices, vegetables, and depending on the kind, goat or lamb or chicken, and you slow cook it together
Okay.
over several hours until the meat falls off the bone. And you serve that. It's so
Is it commonly
good.
served
Now,
in
can I ask you a
bags?
question? No, yeah, do you
on
serve
the-
it with rice, bronze? Do you
Well,
serve
no,
it with
because
rice?
it is right. It is right.
Oh, so it has rice in it, and then when you put it
Yeah.
in a bag,
Bag rice.
does it not
Yeah.
become bag rice?
No.
What was the? Is that a common way to serve
So
it?
was it not rice in the
It's
bag?
like
Was
street
that-
food or
are we
something,
wrong?
Yeah, if you the thing about and I can only speak, I've never been to Karachi. I can only speak of like big Indian cities, is we have amazing street food. Like
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
street food. And we've
Sure.
come up with very clever ways to make it portable so that you can eat it on the street without requiring a chair or a table, and usually so that you can throw it right there and it's biodegradable.
Yeah.
So it's very common to have like dried leaves woven into like a bowl, or the one that I was most used to, and I was shocked that they do this in the UK too, newspaper. They'll like fold newspaper
Yeah.
to a cone and fill it with fujia so you can walk around, eat it, and then you can throw it away.
Yeah.
They serve cha in like unglazed clay cups, because you drink the cha, you throw it on the ground, and then they pound it up, reheat it in a 400-degree oven, and they serve it in. They don't have to do dishes because that's how fast the turnaround is. So yes, they do serve, like you can get soup in a bag in India.
Okay.
Is what's crazy.
I've
Like
had
you
that
can get
before,
just
yeah.
about anything in a bag. And even what she's eating, she calls it pani puri. We call it golgappe, which she's Punjabi, so she should have called it golgappe too. But even that food, it's designed to be eaten on a street side because it's like a little wafer. They fill it and you just eat it. You don't need a plate and you walk away. So yeah, no, I could definitely see them eating rice out of a bag. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say I've done it before.
Sure. I mean, it's not a
But the-
foreign thing. It's not a crazy thing.
Sitting
I just didn't
around
know
a
if it was a
fire
normal
playing a
thing.
guitar was fucking crazy.
Well, they played
I
Life
do-
is
I
Strange
do-
earlier this year, so
I do have a question about that though, which I think is interesting.
what's that?
And if I was in the writer's room, I would have brought this up because I keep thinking about it. When she's out with her family at the club, she's eating the spicy food and not complaining, but sweating, right? When she goes out to hang out with these kids, one would assume the Americanized young woman would not have, like, wouldn't she have tried harder to fit in and not complain?
Yes.
Wouldn't
yes.
she have sat there and been like, I don't want these new people and this boy that's super cute to think I suck. So I'm going to sit here and eat this. Even if it is spicy, I'm going to pretend I enjoy it. And the first thing she was like, I can't handle this shit. And they were like,
Yeah, if
She's
anything, that
wild.
seems a little bit more like how a kid
Should've
from
been reversed or
America.
something.
Yeah,
I
it should have
don't
been
know.
reversed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because a
Yeah.
kid will complain to their parents, but not to, yeah.
There's some weird, like I said, writing inconsistencies there where it's strange to me. I do like that they touched on Indo-Chinese food because this is
Sure.
something I actually miss a lot, and I actually found a couple of restaurants locally that do it. But the Indian take on Chinese food is actually very different than the American take on it.
Yeah.
It did annoy me a bit when he said, "Oh, have you managed to whitewash even Chinese food?" And I was like, "Well,
Yeah,
baby, we Indian washed it."
Yeah,
Like,
that line
in
kind of was
I
very
would like to
strong.
make clear I would like to make clear to the chat and everyone watching that the Indian take on Chinese food, I'm sure Chinese people feel that we've destroyed their cuisine because it is I'm
Sure.
telling you, I miss it, but I am sure that that's not what they're eating in China.
I don't
Like, it is our version of it. We have, like, gobi Manchurian. Like, I don't think that y'all are
felt-
eating gobi Manchurian,
that
okay?
whole scene, and I don't get this feeling a lot, and I think it's kind of a bullshit take whenever I hear it. But that scene was very much like the "Hello, fellow woke kids, how do you do?" Like that. It just felt like they were trying to like win people over with that.
I think that conversation would have been so much better if she's like, "Why is this like this?" And he's like, "Well, every country, like, Chinese food has passed through a filter
Yeah,
in
they should
every
have
country
explained
it's
it
in."
instead of just saying like,
You know?
"Oh, do they whitewash?" Yeah, yeah. They
Because
just
I
wanted
can't
to say.
honestly tell you
I feel like
if
that
hot
scene
and
was
sour
just to say
soup is red in
whitewash, and that's
China.
it. They just wanted to say the
Yeah.
phrase whitewash.
I
That's
mean,
it.
it makes it. The idea is simple. There are a lot of Chinese immigrants, and then they made food for the people that were in the area,
Mhm.
and they
Yeah.
changed it to match their tastes. And it's that simple, and it's not complicated. And yeah,
I
it's
think it's
very
cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I will never claim that our version of Chinese food is authentic. I
Sure.
I
No,
apologize
yeah.
to Chinese people for it, but I do like that, like,
You
we
can
have
like something even if it's not like the
Yeah.
authentic form of it. Yeah, There's nothing
Absolutely.
wrong with that.
we've Indianized American food. Like, because people seem to think this is an America concept of like, oh, you Americanize Mexican food, you Americanize Chinese food. I was like, oh, honey, go to other countries.
It
See what
happens
they do to
everywhere.
pizza. See what they do to Italian food. See what they do to American food. Like, this is a part of just any culture. You're just like, huh, I like this pizza. What if we put paneer and butter chicken on it?
Now let's
Like,
fucking
you-
go. Let's fucking go. We're
I'm
going
here-
right now.
I'm
Let's
ready
leave.
for that, though.
Like,
By the way,
I'm getting on a plane. We're gonna go find some of that.
I miss Pizza Hut in India. The other thing I miss was Indian
Wait, does
Lays.
Pizza
We
Hut
have-
serve that?
Yes.
Can you get butter? Oh my fucking! Don't ever let me
JP,
near.
what are we
The
doing?
only
we
thing-
are
doing?
the only
fucking
thing that-
up,
Let's
Jesse
go.
Cox.
The only thing that Indians do to pizza that disgusts me, I'm so sorry, India. They fucking dip that shit in ketchup. Y'all are sick. Y'all are fucking sick.
I mean, I
Ketchup.
feel the same way about people who
get it.
dip it in ranch. So like,
Yeah,
it
I don't
doesn't-
like ranch. I don't like.
There's
Not a-
tomato sauce on there. Why are you dipping it in fucking ketchup?
They want a little bit more sugar. You know.
Yeah,
No,
the
I
vinegary, sugary
no.
bits.
Bitch, no. That's the only thing I hate about Indian pizza is having to watch Indian people dip it in ketchup. I'm just like, how dare you do this? Otherwise, your pizza is better. I also miss Indian Lays. Oh my
The
god,
chips?
I fucking die. Yes, Indian
what do
chips
they
are
do different?
so good. They put masala on them.
Oh, okay.
So they are I miss them. My
I wonder
brother's
if I
in
could
India
get
right
that at like a
now.
market somewhere. I might try. To
You
find it.
100% could find that at like a world market or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll
For
probably
sure.
be stale. But
Dude,
yeah,
that-
you can.
There was
yeah.
the rant. My favorite thing when I went, and this was a very strange experience for me. I went home recently to San Antonio for something. I don't know what I was there for. I
Mhm.
forget. And my aunt was like, "Hey, we're gonna go by the World Market and get a bunch of bread." I was like, "Okay, this is fucking weird." So we went by this World Market, and they were making And now I'm blanking on the fucking term. But it was world marketing. They were making a naan. They had fresh naan bread that was like on an entire shelf. It was all different sizes, all different flavors, and just like stacks of made like hours ago naan bread. And this, I thought I walked into fucking heaven. I like walked into that store, smelled the naan. It's like, what? How do you know about? You are like the whitest German person I know in the world. How do you know about this? They're like, this is what we eat every day.
People go and they learn.
Yeah,
people go and they learn. Like my brother's in India right now, and seeing his Instagram feed is very difficult for me because, like, in the front yard of our house, we have a tandoor. So, like, my dad makes fresh tandoori roti, fresh tandoori chicken, and he was like, "What do you want when I come back?" And I was like, "I want the chips."
Let me give you a list.
I was like, bring me back chips, because I love like that our version of a potato chip is so different than the American version of it. What we want on a potato chip is not just salt or even flaming hot powder. Like, we want like cumin, turmeric, coriander. You know, like when you read the back of the package, there's like 40 spices on there versus like 3. Which I really miss. I really miss that about
it's
India.
super seasoned food. I mean, that's why it tastes so fucking good, because there's so many flavors. Yeah.
So I think like I wish that, I feel like there was an opportunity there to talk about Indo-Chinese food and how it's like, oh yeah, our hot and sour soup is red.
Yeah.
Because we perverted it just like you guys did. Like, we have more in common than, you would think. But instead it turned into like, oh, have you guys whitewashed this? In general, the way he talks to her is so aggressive.
Yeah.
Like I said, it felt like a self-insert.
That's why I hated him.
Like, this is how people talk to me,
I did not like that. The Kareem sucked. I thought Waleed was so much more interesting and well acted of a character. And the motherfucker dies 5 minutes later after you meet him.
I was so upset by that.
And like, I don't know if that's because like the actor was so, I don't know if that was a budget deal. I don't know if that was the actor is so well known that like they just did that to be like, look, we got a cool actor. Look at him.
Absolutely, that's why they did it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Or did you fucking see his reaction? It's too late for him. Let's go.
Yeah, they're just like, he's dead. We gotta go. We gotta fucking go. We gotta leave.
I thought he was gonna be a mentor. Or
reaction.
He was
gonna... It's like there was a deleted scene where the kid took one of his own daggers and just threw it at the guy.
also, I don't know how daggers work. I'd never been stabbed before. Actually, that's a lie. I was stabbed with a pencil in 5th grade. I still have the mark. Anyway, I don't know how daggers work, but
you don't want to ever be in a knife fight, Jesse. Knife fights are not fun.
Do you die if you get stabbed here?
Yeah, I don't know. That's true. They did take some daggers to the back. It happens in movies
all the time, but like, is this true? Is there like
takes
an
out
artery?
Your clavicle bone? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Every dude got stabbed right here, or maybe further in the back, and it was like, he's dead. Leave him. I was like, that man. I would have fought over his body. Are you kidding me?
Right.
What the hell?
Well, they also killed the Jinn, these like super powered non-human people with 2 daggers in the back.
Well, aren't the daggers made out of something kind of weird?
Are they magical daggers?
I assumed. I don't.
Did
they look like
that?
the metal kind of crazy.
I'll be honest. I blanked out during the fucking PowerPoint.
There was no JP. There was no explanation. Nothing was explained. The only thing that got explained was he was like, there are 2 worlds, and their world is attached to ours. And if you open the gates,
that's what I got.
Their world will
and then
take
they take it
world.
over.
Which, here's the thing: we already knew that 2 episodes ago when the mom explained that to the son.
Yeah, well, we didn't get a sick like sand PowerPoint.
I'll never get over. Waleed had this dope ass freaking kurban on his waist and never uses it.
Yeah. Also, what the fuck?
You pulled that out like you were ready to go.
Yeah,
I got this for my birthday, so it's sitting on my desk.
Bronze.
Here's what
Here's what we're gonna do. Bronze.
Is that a rebel symbol from Star Wars?
No, that's a sick symbol.
The sick dad.
Oh my god!
Bronze. We need an experiment.
Skywalker's rebel
Bronze,
symbol.
Take that dagger. We've got insurance on the show. Stab your clavicle. Let's see if you live. Let's see how it goes. Let's come on. Check it out.
Yeah, does the curve like hit your heart? How does that work?
The curve makes it a lot more lethal when you stab somebody.
Oh, dude,
These were
knives
these
are
were
the worst.
designed.
Look,
Yeah,
pro
these are
tip.
designed to kill people.
Pro tip: if you ever find yourself on the other side of a knife fight, fucking run. Just get the fuck. You do not want to be in a knife fight. Knife fights are the worst.
I was
don't
talking to like a first responder about this, and they were saying like bullets tend to do less damage
yeah.
than knives.
Yep.
Because a bullet is like, I'm not saying a bullet won't kill you, but like a knife,
Yes.
typically it's done a lot more damage.
Yep.
Oh my God, somebody just talked about naan and Nutella. I feel like I should ban you.
Is that not good?
No!
Oh man, bronze.
That is the most racist shit I've ever read in my fucking life.
Wait, how's that racist?
No, it's a hate crime to put Nutella on your naan.
Is it because
I'm
Nutella
sorry.
is like British?
You get
Get
a paneer
out.
thing and
I'm
you put some
sorry, get
Nutella on
out.
that.
No, it's savory. Get out of here. Get the fuck out.
Okay. All right. I didn't know.
Go do that in a Caucasian channel. Do not do it in mine.
You can come here and we'll talk about terrible ways.
Yeah. Whatever.
Jesse's gonna pull up some TikToks.
Come to my channel and we'll talk about terrible things.
Yeah, go do that in a Caucasian. That's like the other day. Somebody was talking about it scarred me for life. We're talking about biryani, and they said, "Oh, I love having ice cream, a scoop of ice cream with my biryani," and I was like, "Get the fuck out." I was like, get the fuck out of my channel. Ice cream with your biryani, get the fuck out and never come back.
It's insulting.
I cannot. I don't want to ever read that. I'm upset. You know, I could have lived in ignorance.
Just as bad as the red scarves. You became that what you hate.
It makes me want to be a terrorist. You know, when people do that, I'm like, you know what? People always shit on white people on Twitter. White people aren't that bad. And then I read some shit like that, and I'm like, fuck white people. You know, I'm normally like. I'm like, you know, when people are like, oh, white people suck. I'm like, no. White people are kind of cool. Some of them suck, not all of them. And then I read that shit. I'm like, fuck white people.
Jesse, we got to get her some bag rice.
Bronze, calm down. You just need to try Nutella for the first time, and I think you'll love it.
No!
Nutella.
Just come on over. I'll make you some homemade Jesse Cox
things for you fuckers to put Nutella on.
I'll order some
If you're
Nutella.
putting Nutella on naan, it means you're not seasoning your naan. You are mentally deranged. You need help. I know that y'all are allergic to seasoning, but please stop doing this.
This is like a ketchup on ice cream reaction right here.
Yes, I cannot handle it. Like, I'm so disgusted. Like, there's garlic and shit on there. Why are you putting, take it up with the Indians who serve in the restaurant? They serve it because they know your white ass is going to eat it.
Got him.
I don't blame the Indians.
Is my favorite new thing. I'm gonna
serve it and charge y'all $15 a naan. Oh my God.
Bronze, come on over. I'll make you a chai tea. You can have a Nutella with me. It'll be lovely.
Oh,
Jesse,
man. You're gonna get that dagger in your back, Jesse.
Jesse, we could do that, or you could come over. And my dad can make you goat biryani, and my mom can make you chaw.
Am I invited to that? I don't want to go to Jesse, but I'll go to your.
That's so much better. He slow cooks it for 14 hours.
I forsake Nutella. It sucks. I would love to come over and have real food.
Sounds great.
I forsake Nutella and whatever the hell chai tea is.
It's tasty.
I 100% would love to come over. Yes.
Oh man.
All right. So don't put Nutella on naan. That's what we learned in this episode. So let me ask you guys this.
There's garlic on there. Sorry, okay. I'm over it. There's seasoning on there. You people are
I mean, it might just be like some plain ass naan. Nothing on it.
Are people not seasoning their naan?
Bronze.
Oh my God.
Come on now. Yes, obviously that's what's going on here. Let me ask you this, because we're actually close for time. Bronze.
We do have a hard out. That's true.
Yeah, we got a hard out. Is this a vision, or did we straight up time travel at the end of this episode?
We time travel.
I think we time travel.
You think it's a time
She's
travel?
Going to cause a paradox that's going to make no sense, and we're going to be sitting here at the end of episode 6 like, wait, what? It's going to happen. She's going to lead her grandmother or great grandmother. She's going to lead her great grandmother to safety. Absolutely happening.
Mm-hmm. I will say, seeing that train station scene was very sad. But I also want to say something too, though. Like they say a lot of the time, like that line where she says, like, there's a border drawn in blood and it's going to take us forever to recover from this. That was like the part of the show where I was like, we needed like more of this and less of whatever the fuck else you did this episode.
Yeah.
Because like I think it gives us context for it. She does blame all of it on the British, and I would like any history buffs in chat to know that Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the leader of the Muslim League, is actually the one who pushed for the creation of Pakistan and the border, and the British just ratified it. So I would like to say the British didn't get this idea of Pakistan out of their fucking asses. It was something that was actively pushed for by Muhammad Ali Jinnah at the time. And he is just as guilty as the British are, in my opinion. I would also like to say, they continuously say, like, especially in the last episode, like, oh, there's not, a Pakistani family who doesn't have a story about the partition. It comes off as a little propaganda because I promise you, there are the same thing was happening to Indians who lived in Pakistan at the time as well. So it's not just Pakistani people that went through this. It was all Punjabi people on either side of the border who had to like go through this mass migration. Over like 2 million people went missing. They estimate something like 11 million died. There were trains that were going back and forth, and it was a horrible time in history, in like South Asian history.
A lot of
We're
bad
probably
shit
gonna
happened. Yeah.
Yes, and it's not that long ago.
Right.
So like that's what really sucks about it. But when the part that was strangest to me about this episode is that her grandmother is just like has pictures of the partition up. One thing I've learned about Desi people is Desi people never talk about tragedy. So I thought that this was going to be her going to Pakistan and trying to get the full story out of her grandma. Because the reaction that her mother has when they start talking about what happened to her great grandmother, that is the most Desi reaction I've ever seen, is where she's like, no.
Yeah.
I can't get anything out of my family
About it.
My mom never told me that she speaks refugee Punjabi, Refugi Punjabi. I found out at school when I said a word and they're like, why are you speaking refugee Punjabi? And I was like, oh my God, is my mom's side of the family from Pakistan? Like we never talk about tragedy. There's a family rumor. I call it a rumor because he refused to talk about it, that my grandfather had a twin that died when he was young. Refused to fucking talk about it. Would not tell anybody about it. If you asked him about it, he was like, I don't want to talk about that. I'm over this. I'm over that. It was so fucking like Desi people never want to talk about tragedy, to the point that those of us that want to know about family history or are trying to track down family history, oh my God, it's impossible, because they're like, oh, that's in the past. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. So the fact that she has like all of this partition news up and stuff, I was like, that's so weird, because it's very atypical. I could understand why her mom hates it, because we don't do that. Like, it's just not culturally, we don't discuss that stuff. It's very difficult to get your elders to talk about Operation Blue Star or the partition, or even like your teachers and stuff. They kind of gloss over a lot of stuff, even in school, because it's like, this was horrible. And this is, so even though we study extensively why the partition happened, how the partition happened, at least in my education over there. When I did my research outside of school, I found accounts from the British that said that the conditions there were the worst they'd seen since the Holocaust. They said it was like on that scale, the amount of mass graves that had to be dug, the amount of people that died, the amount of people that went missing, the amount of families that were torn apart, that the only thing that they could compare it to was the Holocaust. Like it was that grisly, and they said the nightmares of it would haunt them to their waking days.
Sure.
That is not how my teacher talked about it. Like they discussed numbers, but it's almost clinical, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like in American history, it is very much the way you describe it is exactly how, even when I taught, people think about the Vietnam War, where it's just like, people will talk about why it happened and what was going on. But if you ask anyone who served in Vietnam, or you like try to look, that shit was fucked up and no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
I have family members who no one wants to ever talk about it because that was fucked up.
Right.
And absolutely, it's clearly not on the same scale as like Holocaust level death, but it was still awful, and no one wants to talk about that stuff because like if you lived it, that's scarring, and you don't want to think about it anymore. You're trying your hardest to move on and
So,
get past it.
with all that said, do you
Yeah.
think the show will give you how do you think they're going to portray like that moment? Because we saw a little bit of it at the end of the episode, but that was pretty.
Yeah, it is
it
like
was
the
sterilized.
Disney-fied version of it.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, because like the movie that scarred me is a Sunny Deol film called, I think it's Gadar, and I can link it or give you guys the information about it if you want. But that movie was the first movie I had ever seen about the partition, and it was a smash hit in Punjab, but it was one of the most scarring movies I had ever seen because like they show families being ripped apart and they show like this girl that's actually living very well. Then the partition happens and she's a Muslim trapped on the wrong side of the border. And like she almost gets raped trying to get over to the other side. And apparently that
It
happened
happened
all the time. So watching that movie, I was like, oh, like the anxiety and the fear there was so, it was so much for me.
I don't think Disney's going to touch on that in this
No,
moment,
no.
right? Like,
Yeah. And so you still see the amount of people rushing to get on these trains. They're not going to show people pulling each other off and doing anything, I think, to get on the train, which is closer to what it was actually like.
Yeah, I was going to say
that platform would have been fucking
chaotic.
Pandemonium.
It was more like
for
everyone
being
was
chaotic,
saying goodbye.
it seemed polite.
Yeah, and everyone
was
had
like
their time.
waiting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we'll see how they
This will
approach
be
it. That
interesting.
might be
I
what
was
the
like
writer
waiting for bated breath when she got on the train. I was like, someone's gonna pull her down and be like, no, you know, like.
Well, no one
I need that
interacted with her.
spot.
No one
Yeah.
interacted with her. So it might be that's why a lot of people are thinking it's a vision and not time travel. Because
No, I think she's there. I think it's gonna
She
create a paradox.
physically interacted with the world. So like.
So does that mean that Miss Marvel can time travel then? Is that what we're doing?
Again,
because
maybe like using the Noor.
She's Green Lantern.
Yeah, is this the Noor thing?
Mm-hmm.
Is this?
She's Green Lantern. She has the emotion is Noor is emotion is dynamis. I'm telling you, that's what's happening right now.
Do we think there is going to be like that Miss Marvel Sherpa is going to be Ant-Man? Because he's come up in just about every episode.
He has come up a lot, yeah.
And I'm very curious about that. I wonder if there is going to be a Scott Lang, like, is this a quantum realm? Like, I have theories. He's literally come up in every single episode.
I mean,
this time there was fan art of him
and
Karachi on the wall, and she's looking at it, and that's when the dagger flies. I'm just like,
I would love
and then
Scott
she's mentioned
Lang.
him multiple times.
But where does he pop?
She talks about his podcast.
Does he come through the quantum realm into the partition? Time traveling. He's
no,
like,
I don't think he's gonna.
This is what's going on here?
I don't think he's going to make an appearance here. I think she's going to make an appearance in Quantum Mania.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Because, I don't think he's going to come in this show. I think she's going to show up in his movie. Because or are they just sowing the seed for no reason? Are the writers fans of Ant-Man? Because, I understand she's a fangirl. I get that. But, no other superhero has been referenced as much as Ant-Man.
It's true, but also in the context of the first episode, Ant-Man has a podcast, right? So, and he's...
Yeah.
Ant-Man is out as Scott Lang, right? So he has, a human... He's a person, and so I think that's maybe what they're trying to say is there's a human connection there rather than just this deity.
I'm wondering if she's gonna guest on his podcast or he's gonna come on her YouTube channel because they're both creators. There's too many. They've drawn too many parallels there.
I'd love a post-credit scene where they're on a podcast together.
Oh,
I almost wonder if they're gonna have a collab, Sloth Baby and Ant-Man.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right because. How else, as a writer, do you wrap up the loose end of the redheaded girl at the beginning, getting all the school cred for meeting the whatever they called her, Nightlight or whatever?
Yeah,
that whole story arc has ceased to be a story arc, and they didn't wrap that shit up at all. That's how they do it. Is the last 5 minutes. She's on Miss Marvel on the podcast with Ant-Man. That's how I would do it. If that's true, that's how I would do it. That
Yeah.
wraps up that story where she thinks she's hot shit, and then like spoiler, you're not. It's actually
There's a
Kamala
video
who's hot
floating
shit.
around of
Cool.
Miss Marvel interacting with Captain America.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Like
from
the actor,
Disneyland
or-
or something. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's from Disneyland or one of the cruises. But she's like standing there eating pizza, and he drops by and says, "Come on, we gotta go do this thing." And she's like, "Rude, but okay."
Oh, yeah. With that was on the cruise.
Yeah,
Because,
I'm
Miss
wondering if
Marvel
like
teamed up with Captain America
Scott
and
Lang. There's
Ant-Man
no
and the
way for
Wasp
her to.
to fight Ultron.
There's no way for her to come in contact. See Ant-Man and the Wasp again, right? Like
Right.
I'm telling
But this
you,
is also
there's
a
no
Disney
connection.
cruise thing.
But
like,
there's no connection between her and Captain Marvel. Like it doesn't make sense for Captain Marvel to be her link to the Avengers. It makes sense for Scott Lang to be her link to the Avengers. I'm not saying that they're going to completely drop her infatuation with Captain Marvel. I just feel like he's going to be the one that's like, "Hey, have you guys heard of this kid, Nightlight or whatever?" I feel like he's the one that's going to
Could be.
introduce her to everyone in the same way that he was introduced, right?
Mm.
Because like I just don't see how else she becomes a part of them or they become aware of her existence. It also makes sense for Shang-Chi to make that connection with the 10 rings. Like that seed
Right.
has been sown.
Yeah.
But it does
Yeah.
that there is the relation, especially now that we know there's a newer dimension, all that. The relation with Captain Marvel is tenuous at best.
It might be a little bit
I just
forced.
don't see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope they don't go that route. I hope they just have her be on Scott Lang's podcast. They become buddies and he brings her in and is like, "Hey, have you guys heard of this chick? She's great." Like I think that would be so cute. They're both content creators. To me, that makes so much sense. Is to
Mhm.
just have him be like, otherwise, I don't know why they're sowing all these fucking seeds.
Yeah, it could also be Wong as well. He seems to be the connective tissue between a lot of this stuff in Phase 4. So
Mhm.
Wong shows up because of like the idea of another reality or some shit,
Mhm.
right? Like he could be the
Wong,
the
I'm sure,
tissue.
is aware
He would have
of
to
the
be.
other.
He would have
he
to
would have
be.
to be.
Yeah,
Of
have to
extra
be.
dimensional beings being on the planet, he would have to be.
he'd have to be paying.
Where do
attention
we
to that
think
shit.
the second bangle is?
I think the grandmother has it.
Are we about to get even more paradoxical where the second bangle is the grandmother's bangle? And the grandmother
in the past, and she gets
grandmother-
it in the past.
That's what I'm saying, is the bangle from the past. The bangle that we see the grandmother pick up from the hand is actually the second bangle. The grandmother is getting the second bangle. The reason why she doesn't go back and help them is she's taking that second bangle to her granddaughter, who she has met. And that scene is her betraying her friends
Oh.
for her own granddaughter. You're welcome.
So they found a way to like dupe some of the loot in the MCU world. And there never
I'm
was a
telling you.
second bangle because it was lost to time, but she created one by doing the time paradox.
I mean, it might be, I don't know.
That would be a
It's
cool
What
What
if
is the loop
reality
loop?
become undone? Like I understand it's
No, that was
paradoxical, but, like,
Doctor Strange in the multiverse. That was where that happened.
yeah, I'm just like people would
Great grandmother.
not
Great grandmother, I mean.
to this day.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
People don't let shit go in Infinity War and Endgame, even though those movies did a pretty good job of explaining, of like tying up all the timey-wimey stuff. In my opinion, they did a pretty good job of it. People still are like, but then where did that Infinity Stone go? And I'm like, they told you. But then Loki's dead. No, they told you what
Yeah,
happened there.
They did a pretty good
But
job.
then what happened to this stone? I'm like, no, they wrapped up that stone too. It's like, but then where is the Eye of Agamotto? Then it wouldn't have a stone. It doesn't. It's not there anymore.
I
They
think that
removed
might
it.
be what Phase 4 is, Bronze. Is like everyone started fucking with multiverse shit and different reality shit. And it's eventually just leading
Now it's
to
out of
like
control, yeah.
everything. I mean, Multiverse Madness kind of hinted at that, and they didn't fix anything. They just fixed the one thing that was fucked up in their particular situation, right?
Yeah.
And so like
I
Kang's
will
still out
say-
there, and this was all Loki's doing, and you know, with the TVA,
Yeah.
that all spawns from this.
Look,
I
none
will
of it
say on that
matters.
note, I liked how they handled like America Chavez's character development more so
Sure.
than Miss Marvel's. Like I love that movie ends with her training,
Yeah.
So there's this assumption in our mind of next time we see her,
Time
she's
could
going to
pass,
be
yeah.
able to do more because she's been training her mind and her body, right? Like, I wish we had gotten that with Miss Marvel of like seeing her kind of unlock this. So the first time she pulls something off big, we're like, she did it versus like she's been doing it, you know?
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So
Her power creep is, look, I mean, it's crazy. It's weird that she developed how to use her powers. But if we're going to talk about time travel, we're talking about how insane the MCU is right now. We can't ignore the fact that Steve Rogers, Captain America, went back to the 50s and then spent the next 70 years not helping.
he was done, man. I get it.
Dude,
He was done.
understood, but that man could have prevented a lot. And technically,
He was done.
Technically, if we're talking time travel, Steve Rogers watched all those people be experimented on with super serum and did nothing. I'm just saying, once
Totally.
you start thinking about it,
No, you're-
it's out.
Oh, Jesse's gone.
Oh,
He's back. I thought Steve Rogers went back in time.
Hydra
to
was
cut your
trying to
internet.
shut me up.
Oh, was that Hydra?
Yeah.
That was Hydra.
That was
Yeah.
Hydra.
Yeah, it's true. No, he was out.
TVA got me. You're right. Yeah,
Someone,
TVA.
someone was talking. There's an interview with, I forgot what he was actually doing interviews for, press tours for, but someone was talking to Chris Evans, and they asked him like, "Would you ever go back as Cap? Like, would you ever find yourself back in if Disney approached you to do like, the story of returning the stones or so whatever?" And his comment is like, I think Captain America is kind of a closed loop. I think that story is done, and I'm done with that character. But if they want me back as the Human Torch, I'm on board. Like, be kind of wild if they did a Human Torch from another multiverse, another universe. I'd be kind of into that if he just showed up. Would have been a good goof, a better goof, I think, in Doctor Strange.
Like, you can't talk bad about Cap on the 4th. I can, and I will. I love Captain America.
That is
but
true, Jesse.
That
You
plot
fucked
line
up.
makes no sense if you really
It's the
think
4th.
about it. If you think about it, you can't. You can't think about Endgame. You have to shut your brain off. Because if you
Yeah,
start thinking about
well-
it, you're like, oh no.
it also, from what we know, like, if he I hate time paradoxes. Just thinking on 12 Monkeys, the TV show logic.
Okay.
If he fucks with the past,
Oh, okay.
maybe
yeah.
then
Thought
he
you were-
doesn't end up going back in time, and then he's his own son and his own father. I don't know. Like, I feel do you know what I mean? Like, it
Sure.
could be something where it's like, if he goes back and let's say he's like, okay, I'm gonna make sure that the soldier serum isn't experimented on. Sorry, I'm making my brain hurt because that's what
No.
Endgame does.
Here's the problem, is you're thinking the way I think when I think of time travel, and when
Time travel's
the
crazy,
minute
y'all.
the minute the writers made the choice in
Of
Miss
time
Marvel
traveling?
to be like, here's a photo of me and your father, and it's a photo, and it's like, this is a drawing I made of what I remember my mother, your great grandmother, looking like. I was like, is she about to be her own great grandma? I honest to God thought that. I'm not even joking. I was like, she goes back in time. She's a little girl. She doesn't remember what her mom looks like. Someone saves her and gets her across the
Y'all
border.
watching too much
Is
Back
she
to the
about to
Future.
draw
Y'all
her
watching too much Back to the
great-granddaughter
Future.
as her
Yeah,
mom?
because time travel is shit, dude. Like, there's too many unintended consequences, you know?
Back to the Future is the best film to do time travel. Just go watch that. It's the greatest.
But that's
Well,
because Back to
yeah,
the Future
because-
time travel is the dumbed down version of time travel.
Correct. It's
Yeah.
still great though. It's still the best
Yeah.
best movie to do it.
It creates so many,
Primer's
it creates
also
so many
very good.
issues and so many problems because, like, if you change one small thing, then something else could change, and then they don't end up, where they're supposed to end up, and then
Yeah.
he never gets sent back in time, and then he disappears and he deletes himself,
True. Yes. Very true.
right? Oh, I don't know, which
right.
makes me even more stressed about Miss Marvel going back in
Well,
time.
we'll find out what they do in episode 5. Comes out in about 48 hours. We'll watch that, and we'll watch fucking Thor. I'm going Thursday. Did you guys get your tickets yet?
No, stop asking. We have to go. Bronx
gotta
has to
go.
leave.
By the way, I finished Obi-Wan. I finished the show. I don't know what the fuck those A-Wings were doing. God damn.
Those weren't even A-Wings, bro. Those were just speeders.
Those are just speeders? Still,
They have
This is
no
fucking-
space flight capability.
Fucking stupid.
That's why they had to go into the back of that ship at the end.
That said,
Look, no comment.
that fight in episode 6 was that was the best fight in
I'm
Star
telling
Wars
ya.
history. It was the
They
best fight.
literally,
It was
they
incredible.
literally were like, we have to get to the last 2 episodes. How do we do that? Some bullshit. All right, works for me.
Very true. They put
Some bullshit.
they put a kid in Obi-Wan in like a Jawa jacket thing and walked out of that was stupid.
I'll never forgive
Fucking-
them. That is the most atrocious scene in the history of film. I've
Look,
never.
it doesn't matter. It's
you're
worth it.
surrounded.
It doesn't matter because that final fucking fight scene, banger. Just do more of those fight scenes between. It's fucking incredible.
Motherfucker put a child in his robe and walked out. And because the camera angle obscured the child, does nothing because he's surrounded 360 by people.
Look,
no one gave a shit.
I
They're
was
like,
on to the
"That's
next
aliens,
episode and
man."
I forgot it the second I saw those 2 motherfuckers fighting in episode 6. It was
Did
incredible.
anybody else notice none of the Imperials were wearing trench coats when Obi-Wan walked in? But when he walked out, suddenly that was like a bunch of the
was all the
people in
thing.
uniform were wearing trench coats.
Look, there's a lot of
Well, it made
inconsistencies
sense
in that
then.
show. Doesn't matter. Final fight scene. Whew. Fucking
Don't
incredible.
they have air conditioning? Why are they in trench coats?
Look, I don't know. Who could say? Who could say? The other thing I watched 2 new shows, not MCU crew related, but I'm just going to mention them. The Bear on FX. Fantastic show. It's 8 episodes. Goes very quick. It's about a chef. That's all I'm going to say, I guess. And then I started watching The Old Man. I think both of you would like The Old Man. If Miss Marvel is like terrible in terms of letting character growth happen and like telling you a full story in a scene and like letting scenes breathe and actors act, Old Man's the complete opposite because they'll just do a single shot and it's like John Lithgow and the dude who I'm blanking on, Jeff Bridges acting. And he's like an old CIA operative who's in like his 70s and he's fucking badass. And they're just sitting there chewing each scene. It's incredible.
For shouting out shows and great acting
Insane.
on Paramount Plus, check out The Offer. It's about the making of The Godfather.
Oh, is that good? I haven't
Very
watched
good.
it yet. It's on my
10
list.
episodes long. That's it. It's just 10 episodes. And all the actors are like putting on their best character actor and
crushing
just
it.
chewing up every scene. The dude who plays Pacino and the dude who plays Marlon Brando are like,
I gotta watch
everyone in that show is so much fun to watch. It is
Okay.
great.
I'll put it on my
Just
list
putting it
then.
out there.
That's I'll watch that. You watch The Old Man, Jesse. I think you'll like it. Jeff Bridges makes a badass, like old, disgruntled CIA agent. Very good film. Or very good show, I should say. It is like a film though, with how it's fucking shot. Anyways, we're a little bit over bronze. I apologize. Let's do some shout outs. We'll get
That's
out of here.
okay.
You want to do some shout outs?
I have 10 minutes.
Oh, great. Do 9 minutes of shout outs then.
Hi, hello. I'm Jasmine, that Bronze Girl Bular. You can catch me on Dimension 20 right now on Coffin Run. It's a series I wrote and DM'd for them. Also, I'm painting miniatures with Jesse on Wednesday,
Nice.
which is I'm pretty excited for. So if you enjoyed our first Warhammer bit and you want to see us paint minis and talk shit, come by Wednesday. That's it. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitch.
Are you guys gonna eat some Nantella during the Warhammer?
No, no, because I've
I gotta
converted
get in good with the
Jesse.
family. Yeah, I gotta get in with the family, bro. I'm trying to
Jesse,
get- I'm
you
trying
are
to eat.
such a heel turn so fast the second that the family was offering
I am
food.
the cipher of all of your lives. I will heel turn on you so quickly.
That was fast. That was a 180. Do some shout outs.
I love that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, on Wednesday we're gonna paint. I'm excited. I don't do that nearly enough. Today, later, I'm gonna stream a little bit. What I'm gonna stream, no clue, but I don't have any intention to go out because, oh my lord, I just saw everyone's tweets about coming back from AX, and half my timeline has COVID? Now, and I'm like, nah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I don't need to be out right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a whole lot of nothing. And yeah, hey, I hope everyone stays safe today if you're in the US, and I hope that if you're elsewhere in the world, you have a great day. And we'll see y'all next week, hopefully with some awesome reviews for Thor. I'm very excited.
Yep. We got to rank Thor next week. That'll happen. We got to discuss episode 5 of Miss Marvel, which I'm a little uneasy about now that the writers said they are worried about the reaction to it. I don't know what that means. curious to see how that goes. But we'll do all that next week. Also, there's some breaking news. Disney Plus updated Jessica Jones' title card to AKA Jessica Jones. And I don't know why.
What?
Apparently that was the name that Jessica Jones had when it was originally going to be an ABC series. And so I don't know if that was like a licensing thing where the Netflix license ended. And so they re-licensed the show to be AKA Jessica Jones. I don't know. They also put out some trailers about the entire like Defenders universe, saying it's all connected this morning.
They have new poster art for every single series too.
Yeah, it's like they're doing a big marketing push for all of that. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's just
they
to draw in
redid
viewers
the
or
art.
if they're doing some stuff with that.
Well, I'm assuming they spent money to get these shows from Netflix. I'm sure they're like, make this money fucking worth it.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that Iron Fist season 3 announcement coming next week. We'll discuss it. It's going to be huge. It's going to be great. Thanks everyone so much for watching. MCU Crew will be back next Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Go see Thor. You guys, you got your tickets, right, Bruns?
Get out of here. Shut this down.
Okay. I'm going to go get some
Shut
non-tele.
us down.
See you guys later.
Turn us. I will. How dare you?
All right. Bye.